Hello everyone and welcome back to the Aristochats podcast, episode 8. How we doing, Aero, Ben?
Hello.
Going well.
Good. And we have a guest joining us today, Sadhour, aka Finn. Might have a new tag now as well. I'm not sure. Do you still go by Sadhour?
Yeah, but I feel like if someone called me Sadhour in public, I would tend to not know them.
Yeah, I mean...
just Finn's fine.
So how did you get Sadhour as the tag?
That's a good question.
There's a small story that's very stupid, or a bit stupid. At my first tournament, which was like February 2016, yeah, it was like the UQ one. I remember like walking in, and I didn't really have like a gamer tag, really. So they were like, "Oh, what's your tag? What's your name?" And I was like, "Finn." And they're like, "Oh, but you need like a gamer tag." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I remembered like the day before, I was because the tournament was Saturday. The day before, I was at school on Friday. And you know what Kahoot is?
No.
It's like a learning tool. It's like a classroom learning tool that's like a
3D
like
model
quizzes.
thing.
Okay.
Oh wait,
It's like Jackbox
Kahoot.
before Jackbox.
Yeah, it's basically Jackbox before Jackbox.
Yeah.
And I remember like literally before the class, I saw a newspaper that said Happyhour, and I was like, well, what if that was a sad hour? Wouldn't that be stupid?
Dude, that's so funny.
That's funny to my 16-year-old brain.
Were you 16 at your first tournament?
Oh no, 17. I was in grade 12.
What? You look like 12.
Yeah, well,
No way.
fan
Like
of youth.
at your... Am I getting you confused with Lanoon? Wasn't I like
Possibly.
at your first tournament?
Yeah, you were
Fuck, you didn't look 17. Wait, how old are you now?
23.
Okay. Alright. I thought I was like a fucking decade older than you just about. Like, not that's excessive,
Yeah.
but I would have thought like 21 probably
That's
max.
funny.
That's crazy.
But
do
That's
you
not that
remember
far
your
off.
first tournament well?
Yeah, really well.
Was it
Did
UQ
you
Smash
win-
18?
Uh,
Around that?
maybe.
Or,
Whatever
yeah.
UQ Smash was February 2016.
Did you beat Aero at your first one, or did you play?
I don't think we played.
Okay. Maybe it was like second. I remember you guys playing. I think you might have won, but I think it was close.
I think we did play sometime in
Yeah, it was
So
early in your career that you
early
played. I remember
career.
watching.
Yeah,
it,
like
and
you
I
were
was like,
you were quite active.
Yeah.
I think I played like Cloud.
I feel like you played. I think,
I don't think
I think you
don't
played
remember you-
Bowser.
I think it was the Bowser.
No, I think you
Yeah.
played Bowser. I think you lost
red
game one,
Bowser.
and I think you might have swapped.
You
after
may have.
that.
Yeah, it might have been that period where everyone
Had a pocket cloud,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Right.
pocket cloud beam.
But that was always exciting because I was like at the tournament, and especially that time in Queensland, it wasn't that strong. So you'd see like a new player, and you'd be like,
Well,
"Oh, this guy can like
yeah.
that guy's gonna be good."
play.
Well, that's
Yeah,
that's part of
exciting.
like why the tag's still like around, because
Yeah.
like I was fine with just being Finn, and then I used the name Sadhour in the Kahoot because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And then the day after that was literally like the first thing that popped into my brain. I was like, oh, Sadhour. Lol.
There's actually a period where you and I were both using the tag "sad" at tournaments.
Yeah. I just type in sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember why I started doing that.
Are you sad?
I think it's because you were using the word "sad cunt" a lot.
Or just
No, I think it
I
was.
think you just say you'd see something and
So
be like
Trump
sad.
saying sad in his
I think that was
tweets
more
as
like
well,
that.
like
It's like
sad.
ban
Yeah.
hits without being just like sad.
Yeah.
You know? Like basically kind of like cringe, basically sort of the same thing. But
Yeah, so the name, and then I did pretty well for my first tournament.
Yeah.
Like I think I came second in my pool, and then I think out of however many entrants, like 25th.
Yeah. And you
I
were
made it
Robin
to-
from the get-go,
and yeah,
weren't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Do
So
you remember who knocked you out of the tournament?
you in round one,
That's
and
unlucky.
then
that's that. Hey,
and then
Yeah.
some Sheik player.
some Sheik
Trojans?
No,
player. No.
no.
God,
Oh,
who
okay.
else would that be?
Hey?
Sheik. I'm trying to think of whatever Sheik player that would be.
He was active at the
Wouldn't have
time.
been Jumpo. It was before his time.
The only one I can think of is the one we are talking about last night. Jace's friend. What's his name? He played the Greninja player played some Sheik.
No,
Siphonor,
no.
Yeah,
No,
but that was
before
way,
that. That
way
was
before.
well
Yeah,
before
that's the
that
only other
now
Sheik
as
I can
well.
think of.
No,
Oh,
he
and
started-
Urisk.
No, not yours.
Nah.
No,
If you
Nah,
lost,
he was-
if you lost to Urisk or Danza,
Yeah,
then
no, I beat Danzer in pool. Urisk was like, Urisk got like very angry very easily, and that was something you could really abuse, especially like I feel like as a Sheik player, like you can't have a bad.
No.
Yeah, no.
No,
He
you
was
need
kinda
to be
scary.
so
He get,
onto
he
it.
get,
He
he
was
get
not-
grabbed
he
at like
wasn't
he get grabbed by Robin at like 70, and after winning the whole
Yeah.
game, and then die, and then
He Loki started to being able to move a little bit. Like he started perfect pivoting on me, like doing some like tilt combos, and he was like pretty good. And then the rest of the neutral wasn't up to par. You
Yeah.
get the stock first. I remember this vividly. Like we played like in a bracket match. We both got to like 120% of the first stock, so he's like winning neutral fairly well, comboing pretty well. I get the first stock, and then I end up 3-stocking because he just can't get the kill, and he's like tilting. But he was awful to begin with, like just like forward smash spamming. And then he actually got like okay, like in terms of movement and conversions, but didn't have the mentality to play Sheik.
He was always much more on the TO side of things, like F and S.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job
like
with the TO
Stacked.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's
Yeah,
where he's
Stacked
at now.
was-
But
He's in
Stacked
Sydney.
was great.
yeah,
Yeah.
Stacked was a great series actually. That was really cool when we
Yeah,
started
it was
doing that.
really good. It'd be cool to do something like that again,
It's
or like
sick.
a Fight for
Yeah,
Flight
just
again.
like-
I've definitely thought like Fight for Flight would be
Yeah.
like Fight for Flight was such a success story. Like
yeah.
at least in terms of getting Queenslanders to
Great
BAM.
name too.
Yeah.
Perfect name. Yeah.
Yeah, FFF, and then
yeah.
and then yeah.
Because we had 26 Queenslanders go to BAM 10. Wow. Where like Ultimate sort of blasted that out the water, where you have like 35 at Phantom, 43 at
Yeah.
43.
but for Queensland at that time, when like the best you could get would be like me, Brenton, Seymour Butts, and Crabs, like driving down to Expangong 2, and
Yeah, you
like
get,
just
like,
one
one
car.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like wow, that's more Queenslanders than usual.
I guess
you know.
I guess it's like not as necessary now. Like Fight for Flight was like the response to like a low Queenslander turnout.
Yeah.
But now the turnout's like so good that it's not like it's still it would still be really fun and really motivating.
good.
But
Well, I think we are sort of like we're not quite there, but like when Fight for Flight was devised, the competitive drive in particular was just so poor. Like no one had an interest in being really good. Low turnout as well, and I think like we're sort of approaching that a bit with Queensland again, where we had like a lot of our top players like Shadru, Ari, all kind of leave. And I think the mid-level's kind of waning a little bit again, so it would be good to kind of pick up that drive.
How did Fight for Flight work again? I don't remember.
It was
the
across
specifics.
10 months, like 10 monthlies. And basically it's just like everyone rocks up, you pay $15 to enter, like entry fee.
Okay, so the entry fee was higher, and then they used that money to give flights out?
Yeah, so we saved up the money, and then there was a point system that was... I think it was a pretty good point system.
Kind of like the Rambat, right?
Like
the Rambats have like a point system behind
for
all
like the Evo stuff or whatever, or... Because the Catch Warriors did have like a program like that for a bit.
you know, I had the most, at least from Queenslander, I had the most points.
Yeah.
Too good.
And
because you'd like top three.
I was gonna, I literally won every
Like
single
six-
Smash for
Oh,
Queensland
really?
Rambat.
Oh, the Rambats, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought you meant the Fight for
And then-
Flights. Yep.
I didn't get to go because of uni, but I had like free flights to BAM 11.
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I ended up giving them to Shitashi.
Oh, okay. that
I
makes
think like
sense.
Pudge messaged me. He's like, "Oh, you have like free flights," and I was like, "Oh, cool. I can't go."
So let's talk a little bit more about Finn in particular. So started in Smash 4 around about like was that
2016.
2016, okay.
Early 20s.
How did you end up? So are you currently PR'd in Queensland for Alt?
No.
Or too inactive?
Well, I'm not on the. I'm too inactive
the
to be on the
30?
most recent 30.
Okay.
The PR's like kind of, like it's just like behind.
Yeah.
For the
Like
last,
so, I think
8
the
months, it's
current
been, like, 3
for
months
the
behind.
current like PR, I think I'm still on it, but just because there hasn't been a new one. If they were to do a PR like for the past 3 months, right now, my attendance would be too low to be on it.
And so if I can ask this question, where roughly would you place yourself, if you can, in terms of Queensland at the moment?
I think like probably around like 6th.
6th?
I think it's
Really,
like
that way?
yeah, or it's kind of weird because when I play, even if I like get 3-0'd by like Bro 1 or something, each game's like pretty competitive. Like I think
It's the close 3-0, yeah.
Yeah, like definitely.
Yeah.
Like it's basically well, I mean like of the people who are like semi-active right now, it'd probably be like Jix, Bro 1, Dag, Spammage,
Yeah. Neguma.
Nagima's like
He might even
one
be, like,
reason
third
or
right
another
now or
really
something.
good right now.
Yeah.
And then
It's the box control.
and
He's not
then
using it
One
and
right.
then
reason
like
or another, yeah.
but I still like I think Larry's like just cracked. Larry's cracked.
Yeah,
in his-
Larry's
in-
gotten really
yeah.
good. He 3-0'd me like the other week.
He's like I have not taken a game off him in brackets since.
Who does he play?
Bam, Min. Oh, Min and Daisy. Only
I lost so
Min
much
into me.
interest immediately.
Yeah.
That's cool, though. That's
A bit
good.
of Rosalina as well.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
better
really,
still.
pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah, you-
All
I
right.
Tell
played
me
against
more.
this Rosalina on Elite Smash the other night.
That's right.
I've got to show you those games.
You need the
actually.
VOD review for that.
Yeah, I need
But
the
I
VOD
think
review.
I feel like probably around 6th or 7th.
Right,
and then-
okay. Like I judged
Oh,
above,
there's
like,
also Pillow
stacked.
Talk. Like he would
That's right. He even won last night, didn't he?
he won last night.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like
really? I didn't know
yeah.
that.
I saw him win winners finals, and I'm like, oh, good good job, Cooper, but I'm also a bit disappointed in Queensland. And then I went to bed, and then I woke up, and I saw he won. I was like, oh, well.
I was
Good job,
thinking,
him.
like, you must be like lowballing yourself to be like 7th, because I was thinking, isn't
Well,
that like
it
where
feels
baked
low.
goods is?
Yeah, it
Baked
feels
goods
low.
might be a little lower right now.
Okay.
Right
7th
now.
is probably around like Cruise and Stacks.
Well, he's just named like a
DFS.
bunch of strong players.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
feels-
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and Jaws, not
Oh
even
yeah,
like
and
mentioning
Jaws,
Jaws.
Jaws
Yeah.
as well. Like
we do actually have a pretty good
pretty
like
strong,
top
yeah.
8,
Yeah,
top 10.
it feel-
It's
yeah.
just kind of like the 15 to
Yeah.
30 range is where it's slacking at the moment.
Yeah.
I think it may like 7th or 8th like feels low, but it's not like
I mean,
it's only
It's very
because it
competitive.
means
It's a very
dipping a
competitive
little
one.
bit.
Yeah.
And
But then you actually
everyone
name the
else
players who are above you, and
Yeah,
you're like,
and you're
oh,
like,
yeah,
can-
fair
Yeah,
enough.
fair enough.
Fair enough for
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, how did you find Smash in the Smash scene? Were you playing it from like a really young age, or
Oh, yeah. I've like almost since I was born,
Yeah.
basically.
Yep.
Like, maybe not. Like I remember, like I think family friends like playing with them when I was like 5 or 6, Smash 64.
And I'm always interested in the question: were you like dominant when you were playing in like your group of friends or whatever, playing 64?
Not when I was like really young. When I
Yeah.
got like, I think when I got Brawl, like whenever I play with other people, I'd just be the best. And then when Smash 4 came out, I remember playing that with like, some friends from high school, and I was just the best out of them. But I didn't really play Smash with other people like that much.
You know what's crazy? I mean, did you ever play Brawl Wi-Fi?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say like we
No.
probably played at some point, like almost certainly, but if you didn't
No,
play,
my
that's
internet
a
was like
shame.
way too bad.
Yeah, I mean everyone's was. Who
Yeah, so-
cares?
Yeah, I mean, it was like
the whole country had
it was
no
like-
MBN or anything.
it was
so-
like bad, and then
I tried to play on dial-up once.
It can't get any worse. Watching the Zelda's up smash and
yeah, well, it's just like it was literally like unplayable.
Yeah.
So I think I'd just try it literally like maybe like once a year.
Yeah.
Like I'd try it and be like, no.
Mine would always just like disconnect. Like, I
Yeah.
just couldn't even get
And you never wanted to go to a Brawl tournament? Like
I don't remember a strong desire to play a Brawl. Although in hindsight, like I absolutely wish I did.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
Funny you should
very
mention that. Yeah, we're getting back on the Brawl right now.
it's very interesting to see like whenever you ask this question to people who come onto this, like, were you the dominant one in your friend group?
Almost all
It's
of them.
almost
Almost
always
all
like
of
the competitive
But like,
player.
we're always like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
number one.
Dude, I
in
was
that
just
friend
shitting
group.
on
And
everything.
they were looking for someone else
Yeah.
to actually match them.
I want
Yeah.
like some top 3 PR player to just say no. I was like dog shit for years. I couldn't win a friendly. Like I had no
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah.
And then I picked up Steve in old. Well, that's interesting. Also, thought we should talk about the Ludwig Invitational, which is really actually I wasn't aware of this until yesterday. I found out about it.
Sorry, Ludwig.
The Invitational, this tournament that he's running.
I think Spud's
happening
going
right
to
now.
that.
Well, I know Joshman was at the
Spud qualified.
yeah
Yeah.
qual-
I remember
he was in the
seeing him tweet.
qualified. Yeah.
he
He
did,
played
like-
against
He beat
Yeah.
Sunsei, I think, who's like he's one of the new age melee players that I don't really know about.
Yeah.
Who does he play? Is it like Fox?
I'm so unfamiliar. Like the last 2 years of Melee, like Quarterin and those guys. I'm like, I don't know who they are, but I guess they're good.
this tournament is phenomenally stacked.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good
It's
to
based,
watch.
yeah.
I saw Joshman play a set today. Spoilers.
So he's in America right now
yeah,
playing.
yeah. He played against
Him and Spud.
Eddie Mexico.
The
Okay.
Luigi.
Yeah, I think probably the best Luigi in the world. I would say. I don't know.
Did you fuck him?
No. Last game, last hit.
Oh, wow,
Game
okay.
5. But to be
You
fair,
got the
like,
win though?
He has a
Yeah.
broken
Yeah.
arm.
good broken arm. Well, that'll
That-
make it
that's-
difficult.
that's
That'll make
true,
it hard to
yeah.
do some of the cool Fox stuff
Can't
if
ask
you have a
the
broken arm. But yeah, like I was looking through them. I'm like, oh yeah, MK Leo, Akala, pretty big, and they just kept going and going. All these players. I'm like,
So it's both
dude.
Ultimate
think
and
that
Melee
only-
there.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't
Dude,
see Riddles. on
I
the
think
list.
he was on the list.
He
Okay.
was.
I think he
Oh,
was on the
is
list.
that?
It's
Okay.
actually
Yeah.
like
That was it.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like
I don't. Clearly,
so.
you
They're
guys haven't
still.
been-
Are they still doing like the qualifier
I think they're
right
still
now?
doing the
Okay, that's
probably. Yeah, I don't know if it's finished like now, but it was going on today. I don't know where Josh Man if he made it or not. I'm not sure. But I mean, it's pretty much impossible to say. But like, if you had to pick a winner for both Melee and Alt, who would you pick? Who would your money be on?
RNG. Who cares?
You gotta pick someone. That's the game.
Probably a Cola for
I would,
Ultimate.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Right.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, MK Leo playing
Wouldn't
like Joker or something. I don't know.
Nah, just pick whatever Steve
He's
player.
been-
And if you
Well,
don't pick
I-
the Steve player, then pick the Kazuya player.
I saw some pretty ordinary Steve players. I gotta say, I'm not gonna name
Yeah.
names, but I saw some Steve players. So I was like,
Like
man,
Onan and
I'm not
Jake
gonna
or
name
whatever.
names,
All right.
but I'm
Alright.
just sitting there like, fuck, dude. Like, if you're playing like Mario, I just don't think you would look that
No,
good as a Smash
yeah,
player. I'm just
yeah.
saying.
I mean, I don't want to shit on the Steve players, but I mean, it's just a Steve player thing. I think,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe to be fair, maybe it's hard to develop actual like neutral, like sort of certain Smash fundamentals when you're playing this character because he doesn't.
He's not playing
he doesn't
Smash.
use a lot of
it's
them.
very different.
So it's kind of hard to say like if you don't have them, but
Well,
if your character doesn't let you.
The eye test doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like,
It doesn't
entirely
work. You
different
can't.
skill
You
set.
can't tell. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. The character's pretty insane. How do you feel about like Steve and DLC characters in general?
I guess I haven't like. I don't know. I do sometimes get like I've played against like Jix's Steve a fair bit, and I
Yeah.
do get like Smash or Bayo vibes sometimes, or like fairly often actually, because it just sort of it's kind of got that same like feeling of like you can kind of know what they're gonna do,
And it sort of doesn't
and
matter.
it doesn't really work. Like the minecart like feels similar to like Bayo Smash or Cybe, where you kind of like even if you sort of know they're gonna do it, and you try to do some counterplay, like sometimes you still just get blown up, and it has this like it's very like scary the whole time. I think like you feel like the number of mistakes you can make is very small.
Yeah.
Like you can just get blown up.
Especially if they're like clean with the conversions and stuff.
Yeah, but I do find like I actually don't mind fighting Steve that much, or I find it really interesting. Like as Snake, like it really tests certain skills. Like your grenade play has to be really, really on point because you have to be able to like time them and like just figure out angles, I guess, to get through their blocks and things. Because you can like deal with them. Like I think Snake's pretty good in the matchup because at any point like he can, I guess like neutral wise is really
Neutral's
it's
like
quite good.
Bad, yeah.
Like you have a good option for everything. You have good options to deal with the minecart. You can just dash attack and like stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting.
What is interesting when you get those top tiers that really push like how well you really have to play your character, like beyond what you would probably normally otherwise.
So
play
like
them.
I do think like I haven't played that much against Kazuya. Like I feel like I don't feel like educated and experienced enough on the topic. So like I like just like seeing like how much like Steve's blown up. Like I would like I kind of sympathize with the banning him perspective, but I, like it sort of feels like I don't know if it's like not really maybe like a prisoner's dilemma, like tragedy of the commons type thing, where like if any region like bans Steve, then they're just like shooting themselves in the foot.
True.
Like playing
Yeah.
against Steves from other regions.
That's true. Yeah,
So,
you can't travel and then play against like a top flight Steve from another
Yeah,
region.
because then you don't get the practice anymore. So like yeah, we don't like Steve and Kazuya like in Queensland, but we're pretty lucky to have like a good Steve,
actually
a
have the
Jix, and a good
experience.
Kazuya and Negima,
Yeah.
and a good Min. You know, just throw Min in there. We can't forget her.
That's a pretty measured take, I gotta say.
To have them.
Yeah.
They're like pretty lucky to have them for practice. So I think, like, while the game would probably be healthier and better, like without them, I don't think it's like if we're going to be really pragmatic, like what we can actually do is I don't think we should really ban them because I don't think other regions are going to ban
That's
them.
actually really.
Like,
I think that's really fair.
practice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because even if you had like all of Australia do it like nationally, then you have the problem of okay, someone gets like the enough points to go to like Evo or something, then
Yeah.
they
Then
just play
we
them
have
there
nothing.
anyway.
Yeah.
So it's actually the same problem. So actually, that's really well thought out. You pretty much it has to be like globally done. Or
So,
at least,
yeah,
at least you have to
ideally,
copy what America
yeah,
does.
I mean-
really, because that's where everyone goes.
Yeah.
It was hard to tell because I thought Steve was. I don't remember thinking Steve was really good when he came out. I think.
Yeah, everyone's
I
like,
think,
oh,
I
he's
think
okay,
we saw the
somewhere in
potential.
the
I think maybe
mid-range.
some people saw the potential, but like you kind of have to strike while the iron's hot with that thing. Because like I know like you've probably talked about this at length regarding like Smash or Bayo and Brawl Meta Knight. Like it just gets to a point where there's all these players and then you're throwing them under the bus. So that's why like when Hero came out, I was very pro ban Hero. I was like,
Me too, yeah.
because he was not, and I feel like the topic was like. It felt like there was so many like bad faith arguments, like going back and forth, where like people were like, oh, Hero's not even that good, but the argument wasn't about like how good he was.
is,
It was about like
On
his
principle, the RNG.
he was not like he was like violating like kind of what we like I
Wanted.
guess valued,
Yeah,
like,
you wanted the game to be and what was valuable.
and also felt like if we banned him globally straight away, that might like. I feel like that would be hard for the developers to ignore.
Yeah.
So they might make some
Yeah.
change. Maybe not like completely rework him because randomness is part of his like fundamentals. But like I don't know, just like maybe like the accessibility side, like the the menu,
Yeah, the
things
language
like the
barriers in
language barrier,
particular.
like
That one was my big
Yeah.
issue with it. The RNG was like really, I think it's toxic and poorly designed, but the language barrier was actually like, this should be banned for this reason.
Like
I
if,
won't
yeah, and
stand
if
for one
someone's
reason,
like, if someone's like
especially with
dyslexic
the
or
amount
something
of
like that.
international travel as well now coming up from like
Yeah.
Japanese players and stuff. It's
And you always had those people like, oh, well, I guess we should ban Peach and Game Watch then because they have
Because they're
some
random,
RNG
and
in
you,
their kit.
yeah,
It's
like that's
well,
what I mean
you
by
know,
one those
the
like bad faith
arguments.
argument.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't,
Yeah.
like, do you really believe that or?
I mean,
Yeah.
randomness can be like good in a game because it keeps things kind of fresh and
Yeah.
kind of interesting. I think
Well,
Peach down B is like fine as like a random
Yeah.
mechanic, right? Because
Yeah.
the chances are like low, and if she gets a Stitch Face or whatever, it doesn't mean you die,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you get hit by Thwack, you have that percentage
Yeah.
chance to just
Yeah.
lose
well,
a
yeah,
stock.
like obviously if you looked at like let's say Falco and Brawl and you said every time he jabs you, you have a 1 in 50 chance of just immediately dying. You'd just be like, that can't be in the game. We can't have that. That's got to go. You know, but there are RNG like you just said with Peach, where it can be totally like containable or fine, or like it's nowhere near
You
like
can catch
RNG.
it.
It's,
Like,
you
RNG
know.
is not like just the same
Well,
across the board.
No,
And you
And-
also get a moment to like assess the situation. Like you
Yeah.
see her pick it up. Although that being said, I feel like if items are off, then she shouldn't get.
No, she shouldn't.
She shouldn't
Yeah.
get Saturns or
I agree,
bombs.
yeah.
even
But
in
the fact
like
that she does, it's like, you know, you're not gonna
At
ban
least
her
you
for
can
that, yeah.
still assess the situation, and
Yeah.
sometimes she'll die because of it. But
That's true.
Like,
in previous games, like Peach forward smash used to be random,
Yeah.
which one she would get, and
Yeah.
it's like completely fine RNG, even though like the tennis racket is like the best one, right? Compared to like the pan, which is the worst one, and then there's the golf club.
Yeah.
But like that's completely fine RNG
Yeah.
because it's not like, oh, I've been hit and I've died.
Yes, whatever.
It's the same counterplay against all of them. That like regardless of the RNG, you still approach it identically.
Yeah.
Where with heroes, it's like different hitboxes, different frame data, different everything.
Yeah.
So you have to like on the spot account for the
I would have
every
like a
way.
much bigger problem with Peach's forward smash and brawl if she had a 1 in 8 chance to pull out a rocket launcher and kill you instantly, which is exactly what Hero does.
Yeah.
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 Although, like that being
Yeah.
said, like now I'm not. I guess I'd say technically anti-ban now because
Yeah.
I think the iron's not hot anymore. Like I don't
Yeah.
think it's fair on
it's too
hero
late
players
now.
who have put in the time, on people who have like put in the time to learn the matchup, maybe even learn a bit of another language, which is that's what I did when I went to Evo Japan actually.
Oh,
On the
really
flight
learning their words.
I had
That's cool.
flashcards
Yeah.
and this is kind of a funny anecdote. Like when I was playing friendlies with some Japanese players, I was in like a rotation with two of them. One was like I forgot. I think it was like a Belmont player. Oh no, one was like Bowser, and the other was like Belmont and Hero. And he asked me, he's like, "Can you read the menu?" And I was like, a little bit." But then like he basically picked Hero against the other Japanese guy, but then against me, he just played Belmont. Like he wouldn't play Hero
What a
against
beast.
me
Yeah.
as like a courtesy.
Gentleman, yeah, that's nice.
That's funny.
But like that kind of shows like I guess like what
The
kind of issues it
Yeah.
can lead to, because then it just feels a bit like it doesn't. I don't
but
think
no,
it would,
that
I don't think it would
win,
feel
no.
good really to win because the other guy can't read what you're
Yeah.
what you're doing.
yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it's a good argument. I'm not sure. I think if I had like absolute power over all Smash scenes, I think I would still ban it even now.
Yeah,
But
like
I get it.
yeah, I think yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, if I had that authority like when he came out,
Yeah.
yeah, almost certainly.
I really hope like we do. Like it's not going to happen. Like the next Smash is going to come out. There's going to be something ridiculous. It's not
Well,
gonna
it's
get
just
there.
hit- yeah.
It's going to be too late.
It's
and
too.
then
It's
this
like
argument-
it must be hard to watch
Yeah.
like third time around.
It is. It is. And actually, the worst part, like Meta Knight was obviously, like egregious in his own way, but the difference between that, and we've talked about this before in Smash 4 and Ult, is that you know what the best characters look like once that the DLC
yeah.
character is banned because you've already seen it.
Yeah.
Whereas with Meta Knight, you're like, how broken does this make Meta Ice Climbers?
Yeah.
Or how broken does this make Olimar?
Like you have to, if you get rid of Meta Knight and Brawl, we've discussed this before, but
Yeah,
you have to get
really
rid of Ice
You
Climbers.
really have to get rid of
Like Ice Climbers
Yeah,
can't
no,
be in the
yeah.
game
and then
because it-
Olimar is
and then-
genuinely really, really just awful to play against. But probably that's better than Meta Knight and Ice Climbers. But
Probably.
But he is.
Well,
it
does
is awful.
Ollie have like losing or even matchups outside of those two?
Well, I don't think he probably loses to anyone else.
No.
Falco, maybe.
I don't think he wouldn't. I don't think
Yeah,
he'd
like plus
lose.
threes most of the cards.
Yeah, he really.
It's
would
like a
lose.
-1.
Maybe,
So he should
but
go
he
too,
can
really.
he can always die because you don't have
The
like tethers
tether,
working.
yeah.
If you have
Really
to like
bad.
if you have to up B, you're actually just dead basically every time. So if you knock him off stage at a good angle, he will just die. Whereas Meta Knight, he's not going to die like that. You have to, you can't really jank
So
him like
he
that.
might end up being like the best character, and like
Yeah.
kind of probably still pretty toxic, but
Yeah.
at
Still
least like
fit
at
the
least
same
still like
role as
very
Meta Knight.
beatable.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So that
it
might
is
be
beatable.
better than what it turned out.
Almost certainly, yeah, I would say so. But it's kind of like that as well, like what you're saying about heroes. Like the character doesn't have to be the best character in the game to warrant a ban either, because you can look at Brawl and say, like, I think Ice Climbers is more toxic to the overall game than like Meta Knight, to be honest.
Yeah.
Meta Knight takes like a lot of like you have to very much learn the character, whereas Meta Knight Ice Climbers you can just learn the chain grab in like 2 to 3 days,
And then you're suddenly
and you're tournament ready.
Yeah.
And that's just a way worse thing to have in like your
Your
game.
meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people always
I mean-
like, oh, this character has like no resolves. Like, who cares? Like, why should we ban it? It's like it doesn't have to be the best character in the game to warrant a ban.
Yeah.
Same with Kazuya.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
exactly,
gonna say that
yeah.
kind of reminds me of Kazuya. Like I remember, like I don't know, when he first came out, like thinking, oh yeah, scary combo character. I guess I didn't really think he'd be more egregious, or at least much more egregious than the other fighting M characters, because it's that archetype.
Yeah.
You're like, well, you can't make Ryu any more polarizing and toxic, can you? And then they did.
And
Little
do
did
you
we
know how
know.
they did that? They removed hit lag from the character, so you
Yeah.
can't SDI any
more,
of his
more
moves.
authentic to Tekken.
It's very much like sort of a similar argument to what you might have in like League of Legends, which you're probably not very familiar with. But there's this character like Master Yi, who has like very specific counterplay. You see him and then he dies. But especially in like non-coordinated high-level play, this character will just run a train over your team because people aren't coordinated enough to like chain CC him and then blow him up. So the character's actually really toxic, even though the champion is not like inherently that good in like actual, orchestrated
Like, top level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd really be pro Kazuya ban. Like I think
I think the Smashbox should go.
Yeah, what do you think of the box?
I remember watching like one of Josh Mann's videos talking about controllers, and I think what he said like really I guess that was in the context of Melee, but I think most of it applies to Ultimate, where I think the box is probably like fine enough, especially from like an accessibility standpoint. Like I feel like it wouldn't really be fair if there are people who can't play with like a normal controller, and that like they have to use something like the box, and then you're like, oh, this controller's banned, you can't use it. So from that side, I don't think it would be fair to ban it. But I do think like probably like limitations. I'm not really that across like how it all works.
Functions and what you can
But
do. And stuff,
I know there's like macros and functions and things you can be added to them. I feel like banning those makes sense.
Fair
To me. Like if you just have a button to do electrics, if
Yeah.
the electrics on a box aren't that much harder anyway.
Because I'm pretty sure that's like what's happening with Kazuya at the moment on the Smashbox, is that there's like some
It's probably like one
There's like a two-button
combination
input.
where you just press these buttons at the same time, and you can
you
actually
get an
just win
electric-
Godfist like
100%
on
of the
repeat
time.
Very-
as
yeah.
much as you want.
I have to
Yeah.
order myself a Smashbox right now.
Yeah.
Oh, eBay.
Yeah, I remember seeing like Kenny with the Smashbox, and I was like feeling like the return on investment on that's going to be like.
Yeah.
I remember thinking it was going to be good, and then it turned out to be very, very, very good.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping. Well, he's going to Big Cheese, so I'm
He's going
hoping
to
he
Big
does well
Cheese.
there. I hope it's validating for us. Like we look, someone
Yeah.
playing Kazuya on a Smashbox is very good, but I don't think banning it outright's fair. I think putting like limitations
Okay.
on like macros and things.
I think it
Well,
absolutely should
which-
not have like the ability to do things that other controllers can't.
Yeah. Which unfortunately it will always inherently have the ability to do that. Just
Well, I mean,
from its buttons,
even
but-
when you compare like Pro Controller to GameCube controller, Pro Controller has like an extra button,
got
or
an extra
whatever,
button.
right?
You
Or
can
like
click in
Wii
the sticks.
Remote compared to like GameCube. You have
Luke
Smash, you have Shake Smash,
Yeah.
but
Well, it had
like-
the extra DI angles and stuff, didn't it? Wasn't that a thing in Smash
Uh,
4?
In
Yeah.
Smash 4, different controllers had DI strengths.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know.
no, this is just because of the gate.
Yeah.
So there's a gate inside the actual like controller which like determines how far left you can push, right?
Yeah.
And it just so happened that I think it was like
The
the
Wiimote.
nunchuck or something could go further.
Yeah.
It's got like a wider gate, so you have like
Right.
more.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Basically, if you think about it more like this way, if you could move with the D-pad, you would have like that maximum
Yeah,
strength
okay.
by using the D-pad.
Yeah. So if you used the sideways Wiimote and DI'd with the D-pad, you would live 12% longer
12%.
than a GameCube.
Well,
What
no.
do you talk? 12%.
Ben just
No.
pulled that number. You didn't.
12%.
Is it 12%?
No.
Yeah.
You should just play with that. That's too big. That's way too big.
Well, but then on the flip side, you can't like.
Well,
fast
on the flip
fall
side, you are
up
using
arrow.
a
Who
wheel.
cares? 12%.
But then the Wii nunchuck in the Wiimote was either 6 or 8%.
That's insane.
And
Wait,
then-
Luco's carried.
Yeah, Luco.
Yeah, and then-
He's so carried. No one of my down to up smash never killed it like Ben when I did it.
Procon was 2 or 4.
I'm pretty sure it was more for horizontal moves rather than vertical.
Oh, okay. Right.
Although there might have been a slight difference in vertical, because it was mostly because you were getting the full sideways thing,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you were getting to that LSI kind of like strength.
It's so
there.
broken.
Yeah, very silly.
So many like little things about Smash that nobody has any idea.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that was a thing
Yeah.
until Ben just
I
mentioned.
think
Yeah.
I heard it once before at some point.
Well, it was always funny just watching Luco and just saying like, if he was playing
You're
games,
dead
he
there.
would
You're dead,
dead there actually. Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on mid-set or mid-tournament coaching? Because I know like the Ludwig Invitational is like, I don't think you're allowed to like, don't quote me on the specifics. I don't think you're allowed to like coach even like mid-tournament, let alone mid-set.
Interesting.
Which is kind of interesting. But to be honest, I've actually never had a problem with like mid-set coaching as long as there's like a strict time limit on it that isn't, because I don't want like in between games
like
like 5
icing
minutes.
out the opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've like mentioned this before, but I wanted to also know
I
your
think-
thoughts on it.
I don't even know logistically how you would ban mid-tournament coaching. At
I
least
don't know. Like,
outside of an invitational, that sounds almost impossible.
yeah.
In an invitational, like maybe, but that seems kind of sterile. Almost like you just
Well, I mean,
Be like-
what are you going to stop them
although-
getting on their phone, like getting
Yeah,
checked in
and
Discord?
talking
like,
to
what are you
someone?
gonna
To
do?
be fair, at that level, like all those players most likely would have
Yeah.
like an actual coach
Yeah.
that they would bring.
So why not just let
So-
them do
Well,
it?
well, the point being is it's easier in that sense that like you just can't bring in your
yeah,
coach.
yeah, coach, yeah.
yeah.
Where most people just like message someone like, oh, do you have a blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I guess like professional coaching is
Yeah.
much easier to actually.
What are your thoughts on it, Finn? Because
Mid-
you have a like pretty. I don't know. I think your thoughts on like different topics are really well thought out. So I was curious about your.
Well,
opinion on it.
mid-set coaching seems like, again, like it seems kind of sterile, but probably like banning it's probably the most fair thing to do because I think you can have like situations like there'll be people because you'll end up with situations where like someone has a coach, the other guy doesn't have a coach, and like that doesn't seem like fair to me. And I guess if you do allow it, then it becomes a bit of a problem like logistically because then you've got like how long can they coach for and then there's like all these weird scenarios. Like I remember there was some famous like fighting game tournament where someone like got on the phone and they just talked on the
Yeah.
phone for like 5 minutes.
There were some bad ones with Nairo and Zero. I remember like Nairo when he was like young, he had I think Pierce was his coach, and at
Yeah.
Apex 2013, which I don't think he won, but he was in between every game. It's like 3 or 4 minutes. It's pretty insane.
Yeah,
then
and when
Zero
tournaments are
Ebro
already
stuff.
going to
Yeah,
like so I think from the TO side it seemed way easier to just like have a flat ban on it like mid set coaching.
I guess how I'd feel about it is I think like from a like logistical point of view, it's much easier just to say you can't do it.
Yeah.
But like I guess ethically, I don't have as much of a problem with it. I don't really care because I kind of want to see the highest level of Smash, and if you get a coach and you play better, more
That's
power to
true.
you. Like you still have to
Yeah.
implement all that stuff. I don't think coaches often do jack shit.
Yeah.
I think most like the overwhelming majority of people can't like provide you any insight to
Yeah,
play
most of
better.
the time it probably doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But if like I guess if you believe that, then it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal if it was banned.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, it's not a big deal if it's banned. Yeah.
So like I think I wouldn't like if there was a tournament that allowed mid-set coaching, I would be like, oh, that's stupid. I'm not going to go. I'd be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, whatever.
indifferent to
It's
it, yeah.
there. I'll probably get someone.
Yeah. Who would your coach be? Who would you pick? You can have one. Who do you pick in the Smash scene?
Probably banned.
Ben? Yeah, Ben's pretty good.
Yeah.
Aero, who would you pick?
I mean,
Oh,
yeah, it would
well.
either be you, Jason, or Ben. One of the
Or
three.
you got to pick one. Who do you pick?
Probably you.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here. That's right. That's right. Because I said to you, you're playing Ultimate today.
It hurts him to admit that.
Finn's playing. Who are you playing?
What, like Cloud and Snake.
Yeah, Cloud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Aero, like this guy up
Down
B is just downing him as Pyra on the stage. And then right at the end of the game on the last stock, funk, dead at 40. And I'm just like, dude, no fucking way. Sometimes it's the easiest advice. Like, it's the simplest one.
I think how I see it is, well, if you look at it in the sense that like when the two players sit down, the goal is that the better player should win the set, both in game and out of the game. Like, you know, you don't want to, stage that has just like killed the person 3 times at 0. You know, you don't want a broken character, and I think you also don't want input from external parties who are doing the job for the player of
thinking,
matchup knowledge, adapting. Like that should all be part of your skill set as a player. So I like the idea of coaching, and I think there's even like you would need some sort of time and a place. Like if you considered your weekly as your time of learning, like you know you learn at weeklies.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
So coaching, whatever, go for it.
Point, yeah.
Monthlies, that's when you show off all your practice. So no coaching at the monthlies, or like no coaching at majors.
People are spouting some good ideas.
I kind of like that. Actually.
I like that a lot.
For Arcadian, if you're doing Arcadian, everyone should get a PR player.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good,
cool.
Actually.
Yeah. Well,
that would be.
I've wanted to do something similar. Since Smash 4. Where it's like a buddy program, like training regime.
The Your Boy bracket.
Yeah,
we need the Your Boy bracket.
Victoria did end up doing something
Victoria
similar.
have the Your Boy bracket.
So basically, for a PR season, you have each PR player match up with someone on the 40 or like someone maybe not on the 40, and you play with them. You coach them, your stuff for 3 months, whatever, and then at the end of it, you have a bracket of those 10, 12 players or whatever. They all play like a little invitational or something like that. And you see like who has improved the most, who wins.
I like that.
And you could even have like a doubles bracket, like you play with your your buddy.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
I think like if
really,
you had like a 3 month
so
program
many ideas
like that,
you could have in like the Smash that haven't been.
I've always wanted to do something like that.
But I'll tell you what, like, so what is the difference between sort of this idea of it being sort of unfair to have like a coach who's better, I guess, as a coach than someone else, as opposed to like what it is in tennis, where people have a coach and nobody has any qualms with it?
Different tennis coaches, but they're not like...
They talk to you like mid-game, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, but in between points, yeah.
So sorry, your question's about like having a better coach.
Well, like,
than someone else,
why is it like? I mean, I assume you think it's okay in tennis, but you have a problem with it in Smash.
Like
I mean,
having a coach, yeah.
The thing is, like,
coaching.
if I have you as a coach and I don't know, someone has Urisk as a coach, for example, like
they should get a better coach.
They should get a better coach.
But
what
I'm saying is like, but in sport, this is just a factor in every sport.
Well,
boxing, tennis.
I guess in sport, they're all like professionals. Like all the players are like professionals, like training for a very long time. Like that's their job. Yeah. All of the coaches are professionals. Like there's no shortage of like money or anything like that.
They both have access to a professional.
If Smash got more professional, you would be more okay with it. If we got, like hypothetically, we get to that point.
Then yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and I guess like there's also like they don't have like massive open brackets with like potentially more than 1,000 people all playing like at once. Like where like the time it takes for coach, like the time it takes for coaching, like sure against like I don't know like Wimbledon or something like might not actually be that much. Besides, if the tournament goes for longer, that's like more time they spend advertising stuff, so that's probably more money anyway.
Yeah, so it's not. So it's not really like an inherent.
No, not necessarily. Like I said before, if something, if like it was all like, I guess like controlled and I guess fair, then I don't have like an inherently like there's nothing like intrinsically wrong with coaching in my mind, unless you really believed like, unless you really valued like what Ben was talking about earlier, where like, you know, it's the player versus the player. Like if you really valued that, which I kind of do, but if I also see the other side where like that coaching can, if that elevates the level of player, then that's
good.
That's good as well.
That's what you're all there for.
So I think from like a logistical and like fairness standpoint, right now, I'd say like a flat ban on
it's been universally banned for quite a while now. I think probably like 4 or 5 years.
Well, it's probably been
Queensland banned it back in like 2017.
Yeah, it's been
gone
a long
like,
time.
It's got to go.
It's
basically after Expangong 3 was the last like Australian major that.
Was there a reason that happened after that tournament, or just?
I think it's just just the culture.
They probably just followed suit with. It's the kind of thing that I feel like once it's banned, then like the TOs are probably like, oh sweet, don't have to deal with coaching anymore.
Yeah.
Or like no one really cared that much anyway.
There definitely were a few, like it wasn't like a big problem with like you know people going on Twitter or whatever, but there definitely was a a fair few people were kind of like, I don't know how I really felt about like being coached against like in top 16 of this major and stuff like that.
You do miss out on this great situation that would happen sometimes. We had like your pro player, the really high seed player, who has like 5 coaches behind them at in between games, or no one.
Yeah.
And then you have like the Palutena player in Smash 4 just sitting there, just like flicking his stick in between games or whatever. No coach at all.
Yeah.
There's like and then they win,
I mean, that was,
which is a really good.
That Smash 4 like world championship.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty iconic. Like Leo had like no one.
Yeah.
And Zero had like 5 like other like top 10 PGR players like all talking to him about how to beat him, and Leo just like still won.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty. I guess it creates moments like that where you're like, yep, he's the best. Like,
He's too good. Well, sometimes I think all that noise anyway could be distracting. Like even just not literally like, but even like all the different opinions and things coming at you.
Well, yeah, if they're saying different things, then
it's too much. Yeah. I also wanted to talk to you about. I don't know how sensitive this topic is for you, but from what I've seen of your Smash career, I would say, and I'll put this as tactfully as possible, that you probably have tended to place lower than you should.
Oh yeah.
At majors.
Oh yeah, I'm a big choker.
You're a choker. Okay.
Yeah.
You're a choker.
I don't.
So
I feel like I'm the kind of player who really like gets better against like a single person like over time.
Yep.
And I guess like I don't know, like an unfamiliar environment, things like that, like they can kind of hinder me.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I've gotten better about it, but even then it's still like like I don't know, I try to like study matchups a lot and be familiar with them, but even like sometimes in practice like I'm just
do you feel that you get quite nervous in the set, or is it just that you're not comfortable enough to play how you normally would?
Almost like nervous, maybe not nervous, but more like almost defeatist. Almost like it almost precedes, like the reputation almost precedes itself now. I'm like, oh, I'm up 2-0, like how am I gonna throw this one?
Yeah, the worst one I saw was you versus Purple H like 2 years ago. That was awful. Better Play actually just totally lost. It was so painful to watch. And yeah, after you lost game 3, I'm just like, he's just gonna lose the set.
Do you think it's like kind of like a
awful.
Snake thing because Snake has to approach matchups so differently, or
it has been a thing since Smash 4.
Yeah, it's happened in Smash 4.
Precedes Snake.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I had it happen to me against. It had it happen to me in Smash 4 against like,
Taicho and.
Oh, not Taicho. Taicho beat me pretty convincingly.
Okay.
What's her name? Saber. I think I was like up 1-0, and then, or I'd be winning, and then like some cloud thing happens and I die like fairly early.
Yeah.
It happened to me against MM. He reverse 3-0'd me with like me brawler.
I
like beat his Palutena. Or I had like this kind of like sometimes the power of like being like, oh, this character's bad, and like playing against someone like who's not playing like a top tier, and being like their character is bad is like it's so motivating or it's so powerful. Like when I
find it worse.
Like soon like at that Rambat where all the Victoria all the interstaters came. It was like the last Queensland Rambat.
Yeah.
Sumi's gotten quite good now.
Yeah.
She's like top. She's like good. Like I think she
came, like, at least was like top 5 in Sydney at some point.
Yeah, but I was like, man, Robin sucks, and then just like 3-0.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating because I would much prefer to play against like a good character than a bad one. Like mentally.
Me too. Probably, but I think I still have
that like silver lining.
Yeah, it's kind of like people complain about this all the time. Like mid tiers, all they do is ruin brackets. Like they don't make deep bracket runs. They just beat people with unfamiliarity. And, but I think I don't know the choking thing is probably something. It's hard to work on because you have to be constantly like exposing yourself to unfamiliar situations.
So you mentioned
and that's hard to.
You've gotten better at it. So, like, have you? Is there anything like literally that you can mention that you've done or something that you think has been helpful?
Well, I beat Kanaji at the. I think that was a good example. I feel like when I beat Kanaji at Pismas, that was a while ago though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got third
at Pismas, and that was one that felt like that was like last hit, and that was one like I could have choked, but I haven't really played that much interstate. Otherwise, like I didn't do like too amazing at BAM or Phantom.
So have there been any specific adjustments that you've made, or kind of approaching it
Like
differently in
maybe
the state,
a
or
mindset difference or something.
Or do you think it's just even just having been to more majors, you have more
I think having more
experience now?
more of that experience is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
always valuable. I don't think this is a problem I've overcome.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely improved though, going
Yeah.
from Smash 4 to
maybe
Ultimate,
like
I
maybe a
would
bit
say.
better.
Yeah.
Like now I don't like expect to do as well because I'm not really playing the game as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just go to like have more fun.
Yeah.
So when you're up, like let's say 2-0 on Purple H, was the main thing sort of in your head that now you're
Well-
like expected to win, and was that sort of the
Well, I
problem?
think his adaptations were
Yeah,
very strong as
Yeah,
well.
he definitely started playing better for
Um,
sure. I'll ask you, let's
I'd-
make it simpler. Can you recall what was going through your mind when you're up 2-0? Do you think like I've got this, or like I can't let like am I going to choke this, or like
No, I don't. I think I was kind of just playing the game. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't remember like any specific thought. Like
Yeah.
I guess I was a bit surprised by how well I was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, okay.
he was like, did he win
Okay.
that tournament?
No, he
No,
came
got
second.
Okay.
So he
DD won.
had a big
Yes.
big bracket run afterwards.
Yeah.
So that was pretty encouraging. Like I always like to see that if someone beats me
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
do well.
Yeah, and they just get 3-3 stocked in their next set, and you don't.
Yeah,
feel very
like
good.
when Larry beat me at BAM, I was like, oh, okay, good. And then he can end up coming like 13th.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
As
Good.
a,
He's an Oz PR player, and I didn't get the memo. Pretty much.
As a very small sidetrack, DD at Metashift, I think that's the best that an Australian player has ever played Smash.
Which is
At
crazy
all.
because
I
you
think just
spent
about to.
all of your time just playing Smash 4 at my house.
I
You
mean,
guys did not practice. I was trying to practice and play the game.
Nick would have to be close a few times in Smash 4, but yeah, Diddy looked untouchable at that.
Like
in that
I
tournament.
think DD was literally playing as good, maybe just a little under like as good as me. Like
Yeah.
that event.
He
like,
was
that-
playing.
He was like
he was
top
playing
15
good,
in the
and he
world.
knew he was playing
Yeah,
good.
and he
What,
just
well.
what was his stupid thing when he came out, like for the
Oh,
entrance?
it was like some
You knew-
WWE.
Yeah, the,
you saw that, and you knew it was over.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
so arrogant at that tournament in a good way. I
Where
liked
he,
it.
where he sat down and
Yeah.
did like a
Yeah,
diss
yeah. I love
whatever.
Bradley.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him on.
All,
as a
all
guest as
5
well.
feet of him came out just oozing with arrogance, and
Yeah.
he was untouchable at that tournament. But I
Yeah.
think Nick would have gone close a few times in Smash 4 because that guy was fucking dominant.
Yeah,
Well,
he
like,
was like,
against,
yeah.
against Foe, he was playing really
Yeah.
well. Like his neutral was like incredible in that set.
I guess from what you're saying, like Nick could be shitting on Australia, like every Australian player, but he might not actually be playing like necessarily that well.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just like with that bad or
Yeah.
something.
But
So, yeah.
DD like just eye test.
Yeah,
like,
he was
playing
fucking-
like top 15 in
Yeah,
the world
he
like
was-
that.
he was
that
Well,
great.
game.
I think Nick at that time was like pretty pessimistic
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
Australia. Like I think he
Yeah.
was winning everything and maybe not even thinking it was that hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't. That was the thing. It wasn't.
It
Yeah.
wasn't that hard.
Well,
It was
yeah.
a cakewalk, which is crazy because like you had these sort of gods in every state. Like you had Jason I in Queensland, you had Elton and like Poppet
Poppet.
in Perth and stuff, and you had these players and
Luca
Wave
in
God and
New South
ACT,
Wales, yeah.
and they were all like getting power creep, like not power creep, but like people were competing with them.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't happening in Victoria. This guy's just shitting on everybody,
Yeah.
and then he goes to
Even
a
though
major.
Victoria was the strongest
Yeah,
state
and he goes to a
outside
major,
of
and
it
it's
as
the
well.
same thing. It's just easy. It was
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
annoying to watch. Yeah.
And we mentioned this a couple episodes ago, but like BAM 9 grand finals in particular, when
Yeah.
Ghost just gave up.
Actually,
Like,
I've never.
actually
I don't.
just
I mean,
gave
he
up.
probably has,
Never
but
seen that
I've
before.
never seen him give up before.
Yeah.
Would you remember when he picked Zelda?
Yeah.
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 What are you talking about? I've never seen him do that.
accepting your death.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he did. He was like, "Oh, I can't."
Or like a last resort, like
yeah.
I've
Hail
probably
Mary.
lost this, but let's just try something. Well, I guess the idea is like, if he went Bayo another game,
Yeah.
he probably would have just lost, like
Yeah.
the same how he
Yeah.
did. Because did they play winner's side as well? Oh no, he lost to Lanoon winner's side, didn't he?
At BAM 9. Yeah, I think it was winners.
Or
finals,
BAM 9 or
'cause
BAM?
BAM 9. Yeah. Because
Oh, 'cause
Luco
Ben
got
10,
third
yeah.
at that, John Bombo 4th, and you got 5th.
Oh, okay.
But it's kind of an
That
option select though, because like you
Oh,
get to
yeah.
play Zelda, so the crowd's like, "Oh my, like fuck Zelda
Yeah,
and Grands,
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
crazy."
Whoa.
If you win a single game, if you get into last hit,
Yeah.
that's just amazing because
Yeah.
like how shit's
But if you
extra.
lose, it's
Yeah.
like
It doesn't
Instead-
matter.
instead you got
played
two
Zelda.
stopped.
So
Yeah.
who cares?
It's the
Played
coward's
Zelda.
way out.
But it is the coward's way out.
yeah, you're a
But
coward, Josh.
I should ask Ghost if we ever talked to him. I was like, if you won that game as Zelda, would he have play Zelda again, or you swap?
Yeah, that'd be
I
a good
think
question.
I think you swap.
Probably swap.
I think you
Yeah.
swap.
Especially,
for
well,
Go to
it might
Meta-
depend on
just
how.
go Meta Knight
If
or
you,
something like that.
Yeah.
it might depend on how close it was, but I feel like if he won with Zelda, it probably would have been quite close.
It's
Yeah.
just like a circuit breaker, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
need like that's why
You-
having an extra character is so broken. Probably
Yeah.
not Zelda, but
yeah, not Zelda.
Another character.
Any-
Yeah, you
something to
could have
break the
given the
rhythm or
cloud or
something.
something and try,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Aero, you let me know at the top of the episode or before we started filming that you wanted to have a little moment for a segment,
I did.
a little Aero segment, which we have occasionally. And so Ben and Finn and I have no idea. You've brought something. We'll
We
take
know there is
this.
a segment.
We know it's the bag is heavy. That's all.
The bag is heavy. I'll go get it.
He's like, feel how heavy this bag is, which sounded a bit weird at the time.
Yeah.
And
This is all making sense now.
it
Sort of.
It
He's
does.
left the room to get the bag.
Yeah, I don't know why the bag's in another room. Well,
Maybe-
now
Maybe
What was the
because you
PS5?
would have been distracted by it. You would have just been looking at the
Maybe.
bag. What's in the
Dear God,
bag?
what is that?
The whole time.
Now I have to sit here waiting for it.
And you're like,
what do we
oh,
talk about?
coaching. I don't care. What's in the bag? Is it a coach? Is it no?
I'm actually really enjoying this episode. I really like.
it's
You,
good.
you seem, yeah. I think you think out your opinions really well. And what
Okay.
the?
Fanta.
Okay, that really wasn't what I was expecting.
No, it wasn't.
So go up to the
Liquid.
suss the camera
Is
if
this
you're
part of
watching
the
this on
giveaway?
YouTube.
For those just listening, the Fanta bottles, but they have.
Yeah.
Is
No
this?
sugar.
They're
Four.
Is it originally blue?
It's like lean light.
You got to get us like you're not
They're
going to
blue
skull
bottles.
these or
They're
something, are you?
bottles of Fanta.
I'm not sculling this.
What the Fanta?
1.25
Okay.
liters that are blue.
So, I
So
I
like
found
replacement.
There's a
these.
flavour mystery.
I found these.
Oh, are we guessing?
I guess, yeah, sure. So
What-
basically,
Why did you get 1.25 liters each?
Because what if you have a really good flavor and you want the whole bottle to yourself?
so
True.
this is Fanta hashtag WhatTheFanta, which I
Yeah,
assume
dude.
is a play on words of what the
Other word.
Dude, you said cunt before. You can say fuck.
So it's blue. It's a mystery flavor. I don't know what the answer is, and neither does anyone else here.
Okay.
I assume
Do you want to go one at a time or all together?
I wonder if it's bubble.
one at a time. I reckon. It's
Wait,
obviously not bubble
are they
Are
gum.
we
all,
allowed
are
to
they
look at
all
the
different or are they
ingredients?
all...
I don't know. I have
Well,
no
you
idea.
can,
Well, they're
you can
all
look at
blue.
the ingredients on
That's-
the bottle,
that's
or you
cheap.
can look at the,
That's literally down throwing a snake and then looking where they press on their controller.
or you
Which
can
you were
look at.
doing the other day.
I learnt this from logistics. You can look at the batch below the use by date or the
Mhm.
best before date. Like that'll tell you the batch. If they're the same batch, then they're obviously the same flavor.
That's a good idea.
Well,
Well, it's a different batch.
Can I?
Okay,
Well, I think mine has an S in front.
you can read it.
I really didn't expect
It's
this,
not the
I
same
gotta
number.
say.
Yeah, if it's not the same, then that means a different batch.
Those two are the
but you
same
can check the
number, though.
ingredients.
So they could hypothetically be
No,
different
they'd probably-
flavors. Or
They'd probably be the same because if they have like because of like
too
if
expensive.
they have different allergens and stuff.
Yeah.
Little ASMR for the...
Carbonated. Can I read that? I'm gonna read that. Carbonated water, food acids, sweeteners,
Oh shit.
preservative color.
I'll go close it.
Close.
They brought me on this podcast to
Okay.
kill me
I mean, the flavor is...
with like
mineral
sugar.
water. That's the flavor.
Jasmine asked us before if we wanted anything from the cafe, and I was like, no thanks. And he bought me a chocolate milkshake.
It's no sugar, but
And then
that means
Aero-
it probably has something
It's
else
mineral
in it.
water. It's
Well,
just
it's mineral water with like.
sugar.
So Jasmine guesses
Something.
mineral
Oh,
water.
there's no sugar. It's
Do you
just-
lock it-
It's,
There's no
it's
sugar.
sweet mineral
Oh,
water.
I know what that flavor is though.
It's mineral water. Just mineral
Well, yeah,
water.
it is mineral water.
Then why do you keep saying what the
You've
flavor
Because
is?
there's a flavour
No,
in the mineral
that
water.
is the flavour.
No,
Arrow, when you
it
open
is.
yours up, you gotta really shake it and go really hard on the ASMR.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna do that. Just avoid the microphones if you do.
Okay.
it's like nerds.
Okay, I need to try yours because I need to know if it's the same flavor. I think it's the same flavor.
It's mineral water with nerds,
Yeah,
which is just sugar.
It's
yeah,
just-
I could. Yeah, it does taste like sugar, no?
Yeah.
It's a sweetened
It
mineral
smells blue.
water. It does smell good. It does.
I can't really pinpoint a taste.
I've told you what it is. Actually.
Mineral water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's mineral
What a
water.
scam that is, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, these big bottles sell
Yeah,
for whatever you sell it for.
Fanta,
It's actually sparkling water.
I mean, to be honest, I think like Planet Earth would be much much better without like soft drink in general. But
Yeah.
barring that, I'm a bit of a Fanta guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like
it's
I
like
like
the
I like
worst.
grape Fanta and melon. Have you had melon?
Oh, yeah,
like melon
Fanta,
soda?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like orange flavored like anything, but like if Fanta that's not
About
orange.
juice.
I remember thinking like
Not
I
really.
have not had Fanta in like over 5 years when I was like at a Macca's once. Let me get the Fanta, and then I got it, and I was like, pretty good.
Aero's going through something right now. Dude,
What is this? Why does it taste like grass?
he's doing that.
grass? Aero got the grass flavored one.
No, it legitimately
What
tastes
kind
like
of grass?
grass.
How many often do you drink grass?
They've invented soft drink gacha.
You know what? You've probably all seen this, but there was like a TikTok or something where the person was like, "Isn't it crazy how you can look at anything and then your tongue knows how that thing feels?"
Oh, yeah. I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. He's looking at the poster. Oh my god, that's so. You can.
Yeah, that looked...
Now, if everyone like is
I'm
listening
looking
to
at the chess
podcast.
pieces now, bro.
yeah, but
That's
you can.
weird.
But you can know. Did you
That's
know?
like that.
And trust me, I have not licked those chess pieces, but I know what they would feel like in
Yeah.
my tongue.
That's
Crazy.
like. I remember like philosophers like came up with this. They had like a thought experiment where they're like, if a blind person like a person who was born blind like gained their sight again, would they be able to like? Or it's like if they had a bunch of like different like 3D objects, like let's say like a sphere and a cube, would they be able to like touch the objects and then gain their sight for the first time and then tell which object was what by looking at it? And then I think they actually like tested that. And I think the answer was no. But they might be able to.
I think that's the teaser.
But they might be able to tell how their tongue might know.
Yeah, the tongue knows for sure.
Well,
The tongue-
I always
I
thought
don't.
that
I'd have to
This
confirm
guy's still
that.
on the fucking drink. It does. It's what?
Yeah.
It's not grass.
It actually almost tastes like vegetable juice.
What?
You.
Yeah, you got a different batch, bro.
What do you have?
It's gotta be the same, obviously. This guy just has fucked taste buds. Grass.
You're just
Yeah.
retarded. Whatever.
Jasmo's got to be my tasting coach.
It's actually banned. We're not allowed
Yeah,
to do
If
that.
anything, his is weaker, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
wish
have
the
more
camera
mineral
could
water
see
in
his
yours.
face and how blank and like, not even blank, just really, the cogs are actually spinning viciously.
Because I'm really trying to figure out what the
It's not
what
a
the
sweet
Fanta
either.
this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate looking at the ingredients and it's just like preservatives, flavor, like food acid,
you.
God.
carbonated
They
water. It
wouldn't
doesn't
wanna
tell
give-
me any color. It
I
doesn't
just
tell
can't
me
believe
anything.
you bought 4
It'll
of
give
these
it away.
instead of just like one
Yeah,
and a
why not
couple
just-
cups, which I have in the kitchen.
It's okay. The
I
segment
didn't
needs
know
some
if you had
work.
any cups.
You did.
Interesting.
Yeah, we had no cups in the house.
I believe
Good
you,
segment. We'll
yeah,
find
that might be the
guess-
best segment so far.
Guess at home, and if you figure it out, then
Yeah. Actually, we're,
Well, when do we find-
we're
do we find-
sponsored
do
by
we-
anyone can
WhatTheFanta.
do we
phone in
find
and
out,
give-
like-
tell us the
I will.
answer.
I will probably Google search later what the Fanta this is. So
well, will they release? They'll probably release it because they've done this kind of thing with like Pringles and stuff as well.
this is
I
like a
mean-
genius marketing idea. Actually.
Yeah, except it doesn't like fucking have a flavor.
Can you
Like,
solve the can you solve the flavor mystery? So what?
spicy water? Jeez.
Well, it's probably a good way to like. I guess if they wanted to launch a new flavor, and they weren't sure, like if the PR, if in their like market research they didn't know whether it would like take off or not, then it's a good way to like soft launch it because they could
Well, it
probably
did net
just
them
they could
4
probably just
bottles.
make a few like
I wouldn't fucking buy this.
not as
No,
many.
I wouldn't either. It,
I don't
Depends
think
on the
I'd.
taste.
I'd
it
like,
tastes like vegetable juice.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it again.
Vegetables do you
But like,
drink?
think about it. Like, if we
Carbonated
find out the actual
vegetables.
flavor was something that didn't seem very appealing,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't have bought it in the first place. But
Yeah.
because it's a mystery,
We'll give
like
it a go.
we
Crazy.
at least that's at least one sale, and for some reason 3,
Four.
no,
Four.
four from Aero. That
Nah, you're a spy. Sheep
yeah,
arrow.
4 from Aero. You know that they made that they otherwise might not have.
Yeah.
So
it worked.
So yeah, marketing.
You
Little
also,
marketing exemplar.
you also mentioned to us, Finn, a couple of like theories that you had. I don't remember the names of, but you had like a whole bunch. You're like, can we talk about this theory?
Yeah,
and this
they're
one?
like observations.
Can you take us through a few of them? 'Cause
So
I-
the first one and possibly maybe like second most, top 2 most famous, not that famous, is the Misso Theory, and that's the theory that this applies to Smash Play, but it might apply to other stuff, that you play better if your significant other is present. That's it.
Yep,
That's
I
the
reckon.
theory.
Oh, misses. Okay, I get
The
it.
Misso.
Yeah.
If the Misso is present.
Okay.
Okay.
See, I was sitting here thinking soup.
So yeah. Well, I'll tell you. I've realized.
I've had examples, but I kind of don't want to bring them up because
You have to say like the girl.
Was it?
Well,
was it,
because most of these relationships I've observed have dissolved.
Oh.
Was it?
But
I just remember
they win the
Purple
tournament
H.
though.
I remember
Yes.
Purple H at Metashift.
Oh,
and
true. Didn't win
She
though.
was like screaming like whenever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Purple
To my
H.
knowledge, Pella and Fabian are still together.
I
So
mean,
that is.
hey, let's be fair here. I mean,
That was horrific.
Finn was the better player in their set, and he lost.
And I had no misso.
Didn't have the misso.
Yeah.
So, if that's not just,
So every time I lose, no misso.
Also, Leisha cheering Cameron on
Yeah,
that FNS.
I mean, this
as
guy's
well,
awful.
so-
Yeah. Like,
he won that after beat Jay.
yeah.
So-
True.
Yeah.
Okay,
Worked.
so I don't think I've never had like a significant other at a tournament. I've had family before, but I do realize that when you're like trying to impress a girl, you actually just become like a superhero. It's actually insane.
That's the Smash. That's the Melee documentary, that Isaiah thing.
Yeah.
Wasn't there some? I feel like they may have played it up for like storyline purposes,
Oh, for sure,
but they
yeah.
definitely did like mention like there was like a girl that Isaiah like was pretty close with, and when she was around, like he'd play better.
He was like way
He
too
would
busy.
try.
Yeah.
So
Now he will try.
that might
Yeah.
it would be So
Oh,
that might be a factor.
wasn't there a thing in Brawl? I can't remember exactly who the other player was, but like Attila had like a date
Earl.
or something.
Earl.
Oh my
And
God.
Earl started timing him out.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to say it, or you know better than
That's
me?
like it basically. Like
He had a
Attila
date
was
to
like
go
at a
to.
tournament, and yeah, like was the date at the tournament?
I don't.
I think he
Got
had
no
to
idea.
leave the tournament for the date.
Okay, right,
Yeah.
and
So he was
so
running late.
he's
That's
like, oh,
Later, virgins.
Earl, I have to like go
Go.
because my date's like waiting for me, and Earl's like, right, okay, starts timing him out, making the games go as long as possible for
Yeah.
as long as possible.
Yeah.
That's a real villain arc.
Game like 5, like this kind
40
of
minutes
stuff.
set.
40-minute set.
She's been stood up at this point.
So he didn't
She
leave.
goes home.
No, he did not
No, he
leave.
kept playing. He would.
You can't. Actually,
Well,
you can't leave.
If you've
Yeah.
like, if she's gone home anyway, you may as well stick around.
Well,
Tournament.
he's made it like such a personal thing as well, because he's like, speed these games up, let's go, And then
Yeah.
obviously he's trying to camp him out. So that's like a direct challenge.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you're deliberately...
You can't back down
Now
from that.
I have to play.
Yeah.
I mean, Attila already plays like a campy character to begin with,
Yeah.
and Earl's playing like Meta Knight, right? So
Yeah.
he's just like floating around in the sky, air camping
Yeah,
as
down
much as
it's-
possible, and Snake's
Yeah.
just there lobbing grenades at like nothing.
Oh.
So yeah, and Snake can't jump in that game, so it's not like he's going to go challenge Meta Knight in the air.
But, so where do we stand with the theory? True or not true?
I would
Seems to
say
be
true.
Yeah.
I think it's some truth to it. But I do know, like, I think it would probably apply to me, but I've done things like with my current partner, Maria. I'm just not capable of doing those things.
Yeah, like the
otherwise.
blindfolded chess.
Literally, I cannot
Yeah.
play blindfolded chess. I'm not like, I can't do this. I have like no photographic memory at all. And she's dog shit. Okay, she's awful at chess. No idea how to play. But I still played to like 18 moves and checkmated her. And I can't do that. And so we finished the game, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're like, yeah, GG. And in my head, I'm like, Magnus Carlsen. Something I must have
very
had
fun.
like I don't want to say, but I must have had like the Neiman anal beads actually. But
That's
yeah,
the funny.
few things like
alright,
that.
that's the next episode. Should anal beads be banned in
Illegal.
Smash?
no.
Like if coaching
if it
is
makes the
coaching,
if it makes the competition better, I'm all for it.
yeah, it may potentially it may elevate the level of competition. So I'm all in favor of the anal
Yeah.
beads personally.
Has he gone to like vomit? Was the Fanta that bad?
I don't know. The guy goes to the bathroom
yeah,
like
Ben left.
constantly. Every
Well,
time
he
he
needs-
loses a friendly, he goes to the bathroom.
I mean,
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
he's good.
you left to get your Fanta.
okay,
Yeah.
but that's different.
Yeah, maybe Ben's gonna come out with like a different mystery.
Well,
We're gonna be forced to eat all these mystery foods.
we had like what was your second? You said like the two most famous theories or something. What was the second
Oh,
one?
the other one's the Smasher theory, and that's just that the better you are at Smash, the dumber you are. Like
100%.
outside of the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Like if you're good at the game, you're just stupid.
you can't like.
anywhere else.
All right. Well, what do you think?
You have a special kind of brain. I mean, like I guess the thing, like real, like I guess seriously, like when you talk about these theories, like it's kind of hard to like. You'd have to actually have a real like experiment because you
Nah,
can just you can
decide.
just do like confirmation. You can just confirmation bias
Yeah.
anything. Like you'd be like with the Misso theory, you'd be like, oh, that guy won.
Yeah.
That guy's Misso was there.
Yeah.
Misso theory.
For sure.
But like, so we're like, oh, that guy won. That guy's an idiot. Smash the theory.
Well, the problem is,
The
That-
problem is
I've
that
had-
you have
I've
smart
had-
people like Extra, Jono. These people are like smart, right?
No, the actual.
I remember I remember telling
Pudge
Pudge about this, and I was like, Extra might be an outlier though. And then Pudge was like, no, Extra is a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Like,
Extra might be
dude,
dumb as shit.
You
Yeah.
think
might
so?
be very dumb.
Very intelligent
never-
at Smash.
I don't know if he's that smart outside
he-
of the game, but I've never, like,
He comes across as smart to me.
I
But
think
don't know.
yeah,
I think he's smart. I think
Maybe he's
Ghost
just
is smart
maybe
too.
he's just
Ghost
a massive.
is also probably pretty smart.
Yeah. Well, he might. Yeah. He at least comes across as smart. He might be a massive pseudo intellectual. We don't know.
Yeah, could be that.
But he's good at
Yeah,
the game.
maybe.
He's good at the game, so it's convenient to say that he's really stupid because it.
yeah.
Ghost
Ghost-
might use
yeah.
really big words and then put lol at the end of his
Well,
sentences just to make you feel
If
dumb.
you can like be a pseudo intellectual for like 5 years in the scene and nobody finds it out, you're doing pretty well.
Then
You're
you've-
doing like good
you
actor.
found
at
your
least.
niche.
Yeah, you're too good.
Yeah, but I
It's
think
grass.
like it definitely applied to me. Like I remember after winning a Rambat once, like we played some like drinking game, and it was like one of those like higher or lower ones. Like we have to guess like a number higher or lower, and I was like 4, and they're like lower, and I was like 5. Finn, 5 is greater than 4. It's like, oh, okay.
You know what actually is funny is like when you're sort of really high level player in your scene or something, and then some scrub like asks you a question or some shit, and you get the answer completely wrong. Like even about Smash, you like they'll ask you some technical thing about a move, like does this move have invincibility? And you're like, fuck yeah, it does.
Well,
and then some other one's like, no, it doesn't at all. What are you talking about?
Well, like yeah, that it's kind of shocking sometimes, like seeing how many like top level players like don't know
no clue,
stuff
no
about
clue.
the game.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know, just it's really like I don't know, but concerning. It kind of black pills you honestly.
It's
like
interesting, yeah. And then you
I
have
remember-
so many like 2-2s who have like fucking frame
they
data
know
memorized
everything.
and everything,
Yeah.
every
So
like,
it's
element.
it might just be your brain. Like I think, and like there are people who are really good at the game who are not like that great at articulating it
Yes,
about why. I think
plenty of players.
like Jadizzle might be. I haven't really spoken to him that much in depth about the game, but he didn't like Strick seems really good at like talking about the game.
Yes, we've mentioned
Whereas
that
like
before.
yeah, but like Jadizzle seems to just have
well,
Smash
on
brain.
the topic
like,
of like coaching, if I was speaking of coaching in Australia, I'd be like Extra or Strix, I think, because I think they can
they're
like
good at like
Maybe Ghost.
articulating.
maybe Ghost, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of players I would absolutely put the red felt pen through. Nope, nope.
even if they're really good. Like,
yeah, just no shot at all.
Yeah.
I think they'd just be completely useless.
A slight.
Fantastic. You can get that.
Yeah, whatever.
Ben has left again to pick up
Alright.
Cat
the
down.
thing from
Cat
the
down.
Cat down.
Remind me to make my point.
No,
Yeah.
cat did not land on its feet.
Alright, let's give this.
I mean, it's bound to happen. Let us know in the comments if you like the cat being there at the risk of it falling down and disrupting the entire podcast, or if we should get rid of it. I think it's too good.
I would like him on the wall.
It can't go on the wall.
I would
Yeah,
like
you
him on the wall.
Can't go on the wall.
He needs to go on. That's obviously going to instantly
What? Just
fall
get
over.
get it like a
Well, it
proper.
lasted an hour and a half last time.
True. It's been there before. We've done it before.
Yeah, it's just.
It's
Then
too
hit the
good. It's a
table.
cat in a
Yeah, it's
suit,
good.
guys.
It's
Come
good.
on.
Alright.
Give it up.
Wrist check.
So there's some intel
Okay.
regarding the Ludwig Invitational.
All right.
Both Spud and Sora both qualified
Giga.
to make it through.
Sora being Josh Man for those unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you said, Spud beat Soonsei, who I didn't know, but he got 5th at Big House, which
Oh,
just
shit.
happened,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
like the most stacked
Massive.
melee event of all
Until
time or
this
whatever.
week.
Yeah. So he just beat 5th place at that event.
Yeah. That was
Having not
Spud,
played
sorry,
for
beat
2
him.
years, and he just came back. So
Who does that guy play?
who? Soonsei?
Yes.
Do you know?
No, I made a point that I didn't know
yeah.
before.
No,
I
Fox.
think
I thought Marv,
probably
probably.
Sheik or
I
something
think
like that,
I
or
think
like-
it's Fox. But
Fox? Oh, okay.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah,
Actually.
neither.
Yeah.
But pretty incredible that he's gotten this win, having not been to a single tournament in 2 years.
and he hasn't. He
And
didn't
he's
even really
just coming back.
practice like over COVID.
That's
I didn't.
pretty. That's
He-
pretty
he-
obscene,
He,
actually.
he has literally been practicing like the last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
2-3 weeks, like a lot, but just not. Yeah, just picking it up. Melee of all games.
I mean, that's kind of the thing. Like, I did some similar stuff on a very, very much lower scale. Like, I retired from Smash 4 a few times, and then went to tournaments and performed like,
Yeah,
pretty
being fourth
admirably.
at BAM,
But
was good.
that, like, being a guy who's just gotten 5th at Big House, and you've been retired for 2 years in Melee, which is a much harder game.
Yeah.
And obviously, he wasn't like the best player in the world prior to retiring as well.
no.
That's pretty ridiculous, to be honest. So yeah, credit to Spud there. That's amazing. Let's see how he goes for the rest of the tournament.
I do wonder because because he's been streaming as like KFC enjoyer.
Yeah.
He hasn't been playing Sora either.
Yeah.
He's just been playing people
Yeah.
online and stuff like that. So maybe they have been playing offline, but I don't think they're even in the same city at all.
It's
But I wonder how much they've actually been like practicing together.
online play has been such an amazing thing for Melee.
Mm-hmm.
It's just phenomenal. Like, I wish like Brawl and Smash 4 could have had a similar sort of level of
Oh,
Yeah.
it's made me like so
jealous.
annoyed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
not playing Melee Online, playing like Guilty Gear with rollback. I was like, oh my god, imagine.
Yeah,
Imagine if we had this
imagine,
in like Ultimate.
actually.
Yeah,
Like-
that would be so good.
That would be so.
It is
Like being able to
frustrating,
play
yeah.
like effectively offline with like anyone, like, and that would really mitigate like the issue of like matchups, like there being so many matchups in the game, because I feel like you almost get like a different meta in each like scene
Mm-hmm.
in just around the world, because like someone could be like, oh yeah, Rob's really good, Rob's like the best, like, you know, like a top 5 character, but if you don't have a good Rob player in your region, like suddenly it's not really that relevant anymore.
Yep.
Like we're like us Queenslanders, like for a period we're stuck thinking like Ice Climbers, Carol, Ike are like broken, like they're the best characters. Like for us, they're like the best characters because we have really good people playing them.
Yeah. And then you just never play
Like
them
the meta
anywhere
is
else.
different.
Yeah.
So like if you have that ability, like if we could play like anyone in Australia with like a really good connection, like that would really mitigate that issue of matchup.
I'm not
And it would
really,
just improve us all as a country, really.
I'm not really an expert, but I'm not sure if rollback is even kind of feasible in Smash, just because there are a lot of like options that you can do compared to like a fighting game.
I
Where
think-
you
Well, it's
can,
worked
Yeah.
for Melee.
I think it could work, but I think the game
Switch
kind of,
like can't handle it.
the
I
Switch
don't think.
the Switch struggles with it. Like I remember, I think for Nickelodeon Fighters, I remember them saying like
Yeah.
there's going to be rollback on every system in some capacity. Or I remember when they said there's going to be rollback, they had like a little qualifier, and you knew that whatever qualifier that was, that only applied to the Switch and nothing else.
Yeah.
So I think it's like 1v1s. Actually, I'd have to like look this up, but I think it's like 1v1s have rollback, but nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah,
I
who
don't
cares?
care.
Yeah, who cares?
If I get 1v1 rollback,
Yeah, that's
I'm
totally
sweet.
fine. Yeah. Like,
But yeah.
the lack of like sort of improvement capabilities, like in terms of like to get better at Smash when you're playing it,
Yeah.
it's so frustrating because you know how good like the scene and could be.
Could be.
Like even just like training mode, for instance,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just so
the
frustrating.
Need to get
resources
like,
available
unpack
to
or-
like melee players
Yeah.
nowadays,
It's
like
feral.
it's probably like why there's a massive contributor to why there's like this massive wave, like because they've still been playing for a long time. Like it's not
Well,
Yeah.
It's not easy
so-
mode.
Some of them haven't as well. Like the thing is, some of them join the scene now and they get good so quickly.
Yeah, 'cause they've
improvement
got-
is
they've
so
got, like-
accessible now.
Yeah.
they have like
Yeah.
Uncle Punch, whatever,
Yeah.
There
like
was
their training.
Is that Falco? There was I think it was like a year ago. Some Falco like played for like 5 months and beat Hungry Box and a bunch of other like ridiculous players.
Something
and he had he had a video on his training regime and all the stuff he did. And I'm just like, dude, it's so
Yeah, you
like
can get-
not fair. It's not fair.
We need that, yeah.
Yeah, but also the
We've
fact
got
that
the training mod
Yeah.
pack, and
I'm actually trying to get it set up because I just need it.
I like go in like the Sagriva Discord with like Jix and stuff. I'm like, oh, I want the training mod pack, and they're like, you've got to get this, and I'm like, oh, that sounds boring.
Is it like the jig?
Yeah, you need a jig. You
I
need
bought 2. You can have one.
What is a jig?
I don't know.
It's a thing. It's a thing you need to
You put it
You
actually
short-circuit the
physically
Switch,
on the
basically.
Switch and it does shit that it needs to do.
Okay.
I bought
It's
2
like
of
a
them.
part, a physical.
it's a
You need to
physical
buy
part,
a
yeah.
physical part to get a working training mode on.
So basically, what it's doing is that it's short circuiting the Switch, and then the Switch is like, I don't really like that actually, and so then it boots up like safe mode or something like that, or and then you do the exploit from there.
Right, okay, that's cool.
As
Well,
far as I know.
I looked up like what was required, and I was like, I'm pretty sure like I can do all this. Like my Switch, I think is the right like version, and this is $5.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to get that set
I
up.
bought my Switch day one, so I think mine.
Yeah, yours will be
work.
fine.
And I think
I will give. I'll give you a piece because you live 400 meters away from me. So
Thank you.
yeah, and I did buy 2. I don't know why I bought 2.
So you,
Maybe
could
it
give
was
one,
for you.
so you could give one to me.
Maybe
But
I'll
I
bring
live.
my Switch down and you can like try and mod it, and if it bricks, then whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No great loss.
No
Can't
great
play
loss.
alt.
That'll be good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bad luck.
no.
and that's
No
how
more
that's how
Unite.
I do like most of my practice nowadays.
Yeah.
Is like solo, like training mode, like kind of just.
I do like
movement.
to hear about how everyone like specifically practices and what they feel like helps them most. For me, I actually played. I think I was talking to Ben about this, where I think playing like computers in this game is like actually way more valuable than in other Smash games. Like it's not worthless, whereas it was in other Smash games.
Yeah, that helps a bit.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know, just practice like confirms are so important in this game. So even just getting those down, and they even try and gimp you in this game. So that's like not worthless. They haven't done that in
Yeah.
any other Smash game and stuff like that.
Well, and it's not just like it's like remember the Smash 4 ones? They're just like
Yeah.
just air dodge like
Yeah, yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah,
So then you just like I guess it would be good if you want to practice like frame traps or
Yeah.
whatever. But
and this is like they will also just like completely rinse you occasionally. Like they'll have like 6 seconds of advantage, and they will just nuke you into oblivion. They'll read every option, just like annihilate you. It's like, oh my god, MK Layer, what's this
you're
guy?
like, how are you reading me? You don't have a brain.
Yeah, it's insane.
There's a lot of instances on
Yeah.
Twitter of like Kazuya's and CPU Kazuya's like just actually zero deathing like human players.
I've been on
Yeah.
Discord with Jason. He's
Well,
like
you can-
playing around in against computers, and then he'll just be like, "Oh my god, this guy's fucking me! Like this Luigi's just fucking me."
That's like you remember that clip like Jason, I think it was a Smash 4. It was
Oh,
like a
the
DDD
DDD,
CPU,
yeah.
and he's like, "This DDD CPU is on fucking crack," and it does like something to get him off
Like-
stage,
like
and
the
then
multi-Gordo,
Gordo
yeah.
like like the Gordo off stage sends him back on stage
Yeah.
and off smashes him. Like if you're just sitting at home like playing against the CPU, like
It
you'd
just
probably
does
you'd be
that.
gobsmacked.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, really, when you think about it, no human would ever be able to do what that computer did, really.
No.
Because you wouldn't expect the Gordo to send
Yeah.
him that way.
Yeah.
So how do you? So you get into training mode and you just move around?
Mostly
or-
just like movement, especially
Yeah.
I think especially as like Snake,
Yeah.
like
Grenade
but
tech
yeah,
and
the
stuff
grenade
like
stuff's important, and I get in bracket I get so annoyed if I like mess it up because
Yes.
if you try to do a grenade thing and you do Nikita and you get hit, like you can honestly die
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
So that's something you really don't want to mess up.
You also sorry. Go
So
ahead.
like that, I think it's mostly like that, and when I like, I guess my peak, whatever, like when I was like #1 PR, I did a lot of like writing about the game, like writing like matchup documents, like
Oh,
and
dude,
doing VOD
that
analysis
took me
of
back like 7 years. The matchup docs.
yeah,
Yeah.
VOD analysis of like top players playing Snake and new characters. Like you
Yeah.
learn so much. Like
What kind of stuff would you be writing down?
mostly you could probably divide it into like neutral, advantage, disadvantage,
interesting.
and then like stages.
Yeah.
So if you're like, oh, don't want this stage. I try to do like, I end up doing this anyway, but I don't think you want to end up like writing out like paragraphs and paragraphs of like minuscule little interactions. You want to have like a workable like game plan. Like,
Borderline, just like
Like
bullet
bite-sized.
points.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like Wolf, for example, I'm like neutral. I'm like, well, it's kind of free form almost, just because of how many options he has, but you don't want to. At least I don't really want to use. I've seen like other approaches to it. Like MVD is very like kind of makes use of the vertical spaces and the platforms and things. So then he can use like grenades and things without just getting lasered constantly. But I try and stay more grounded and use my like
Crouch.
boxing tools. Yeah, crouching is really good because then he can't just laser you. So it's like basically like in a word is, or in like a footnote, it's like de-emphasize like grenades.
Yeah.
And then like advantage, it's kind of like don't just jump. Like you kind of have to like take the space that is available to you, if that makes sense. Like and make your options like kind of last second. Like if you just these would apply to like probably most matchups really. Like you have to make it really hard for them to react to you doing things in disadvantage, like a grenade be reversed, because if you do one like way up in the air or
Does
like
nothing,
whether
yeah.
it doesn't do
Have to play chicken with them.
yeah. And then like advantage, it's like don't overextend, like push it. And then there's probably like a few specific things, like you shouldn't really be up smashing against Wolf at the ledge too much because they can just jump in reflector or jump in there.
Right.
So like try and like keep it like simple. And then I also try to write about like what to do at specific percents. And also actually one thing is to think about what they want
Yeah.
at
their
specific
wing
times. Like
conditions
what, like at 0%, like what do they want? Like do they want to? Like Wolf probably
wanna
wants a
grab
grab
or an up
or a
tilt, yeah.
forward air, and then you know what you'll be playing around.
Yeah.
So like when you're at higher percents, what do they want? Probably
Up
a back
smash.
air, like or anything really. It's Wolf.
Yeah.
But like then you know like this is how you avoid like dying.
Yeah.
Like so that's probably one thing is to think about like what does the other person want, and how do I?
How often would you sort of reference your documents after writing them, or did you find it was just sort of helpful to just because I know like
just putting the thoughts down helps because then you've articulated it.
You remember stuff a lot more than
and you have at least a game plan.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the best one, you have a game plan, especially if you're going into unfamiliar matchups.
That's always the old phrase, is like the old adage is, a bad game plan is better than no game plan at all.
And I think it's given me some success or things that I think I did better than otherwise would have done, because I played Jadizzle at an EBS once, and that was after I wrote up a thing about Young Link and we went game 5. So I feel like I probably would have just gotten rinsed if I didn't understand certain things. If I didn't understand how to deal with the projectile spam, how to what are the rules in certain scenarios, if he does down tilt, I can't. Don't try to grab it, that kind of thing.
I think Alt is so much about rules.
Yeah.
I wish I could articulate exactly how I feel about this game. I'm playing it a bit and enjoying it more now, but yeah, there's just so much stuff. There's so much specific stuff.
There's so many things that you're like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
you
a
have to
no-no.
respect so many things.
Yeah.
If they'll either kill you or
but
you
there's
won't be able
no
to punish
universal rule to it either. It's this move specifically looks like I should punish it, but I can't. This move sometimes crosses up my shield, other times it does.
No.
So many, almost every character has a move that is just enormous, a combo starter, kills you and is unpunishable. They all have one. It's so weird sometimes. That's it's that one.
That's the no. Don't try to punish that one.
And because there are 90 characters, I actually haven't played against the majority of them ever. So I'm playing against them and I'm getting they take me to they get me to my last stock straight away in 40 seconds, and then I'm I'm on my last stock. It's that one. It's that move. Don't get by that one.
It's power down here.
When I was playing Fox against you and I back air your shield.
Yeah.
And you do an out of shield.
And just whiff every time.
Do that.
No. And I was
still my turn.
Yeah, still my turn.
It is sort of, it's very turn-based, actually. I think more so than the other Smash games.
That's something I guess, if you're coming from older Smash games, you might find it, irritating, but it is something
it's growing on me.
I have, an appreciation for, because it kind of mimics, more traditional fighters in that way, that concept of, turns.
Yeah.
And, and then you actually have, the term frame trap means a different thing in traditional fighters than what we understand it to mean in Smash. In traditional fighters, it means a move maybe minus on block, but not minus enough that they can punish you directly. And if you understand that, then they may push a button, try to punish you, and you hit them during the startup of that reaction from them. That's a frame trap, because you've punished them for hitting a button. That kind of happens in Smash. If Cloud back airs your shield and then you foolishly try to punish him for it, and then he just F tilts you or gets a cross slash, you've been frame trapped in the traditional sense.
The quintessential one, I think I remember you used to play against Aero in Smash 4 when he played Sheik, and he would do a short hop forward on my shield and I'd punish that and then buffer jab 1-2, and you just can't I was I can't.
You've got to wait.
I've got to wait for the
jabs. That's the traditional fighting game, pressure sequence.
Whereas
you've got to find the break.
Whereas
in the sequence.
You're quite good at this, because now if I do back air into the ground as Yoshi, the up tilt's coming, so you don't try and punish the back air. You'll be back air,
for the option
up tilt
after
one, spot dodge, and then Carol forward tilts me out of the spot dodge.
That's the layers.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty
I would still consider hitting a shield and then using a move that will hit if they try and do something as a frame.
Yeah,
even though we consider it
in Smash it means it means you've air dodged the forward and now you get nared. That's what it pretty much means in a Smash sense usually. But
the premier the biggest example of a frame trap for air dodges was Sheik down throw into up B, right?
Yeah.
Because if you
that's not a frame trap, that's a 50-50.
The Fox Vortex.
Yes,
the Fox Vortex in Smash 4 is
you might air dodge.
You air dodge the up air, but he's still there, and it's very, very scary.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
You get you air dodge the up air, you get late dash attack to into another up air, and then you just got, you actually just got frame trap.
So
I mean, it's a 50-50, but it's still a frame trap if you air dodge.
If you air dodge, but But I mean, if you double jumped and you forward air and they air dodge that, and then you
I guess it's either way. I guess a 50-50 is it's usually in Smash 4 they usually describe kill confirms it's a coin flip. If you if you do this, you die. If you do this, they don't.
Yep. And they have to
Take a
call it
guess.
out.
Whereas a
Yeah.
frame trap is more like an option select type thing.
Yeah.
Where, like if the fox up air whiffs,
He gets
Or
this move instead.
he can hit you instead, or you don't air dodge and the fox up air hits.
The
and you're
characters
still in
who
the blender.
got very good at Smash 4 were characters who abused that really heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Bayo could literally
Sometimes-
just hold the button.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
do it.
you would just you'd
and
like
it would eat
you'd,
your air
you'd
dodge
whiff the air dodge or whatever, like you'd air dodge, miss the move, and then you'd get dash attacked, and it just resets the situation again,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they just keep vortexing you.
So like the term frame trap like still
Hmm.
I guess like it's just a different usage of it.
Yeah.
I think what was so evil about like Fox in particular was that the complete unintuitive option was the better one, like 80% of the time. Like you just want to cop that up air,
Just
like
take the up air.
because
That's true.
you'll
Just
probably
save your jump.
you'll
Yeah.
save your jump. Your disadvantage is better after that, and like hopefully you won't die. You sometimes will just die to it, but if you air dodge, then they get like a falling up air into an up air,
Yeah.
and then you're just dead. Like you will always die from
Yeah,
the air dodge.
I mean, it depends where
if
you
they
are
call it
as
out.
well. Like if there's a platform, maybe you're getting up smash if you air dodge.
Yeah,
If you're near the
yeah.
edge of the stage, you might be getting fair footstooled. Like
Yeah,
just cop the hit.
where
Just
actually
just cop
copying the hit was
Yeah.
better a good chunk of the time.
Attacking out of hit some was off like usually pretty good,
Mm.
but then they'll just like wait, they'll just run at you shield
Yeah.
and then dash attack reset you again.
Yeah,
But
broken
Fast
character.
enough. Yeah. Smash 4 Fox was very stupid.
I remember playing against nothing and getting like up tilted at like 30, and I would actually just die every time to like
Yeah.
some bullshit.
some
Yeah,
weird,
like
the vortex.
because
vortex,
it was
vortex,
always
yeah.
like you got hit by this near the ledge, and then he would falling forward air you, and
Yeah.
you would
Yeah.
die from that.
Footstool.
Yeah.
And
That's so evil.
once he got that initial hit, it didn't matter. There was nothing you could do. He
This
would
character's
always
like-
do it.
It's like even if you're on stage, like you're near the ledge, you like double jump back airs and you air dodge, and your DI is not right, so you're not fading off stage while you do that air dodge. So then you fall down straight, and then you just get like turn it up smashed or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, he had so many.
It was
Like-
it was like
he was
cunts.
it was
So
the
many.
lesser of two evils, because if you're near the ledge, you get fair footstool.
Mm.
But if you're in the middle of the stage, then you get up aired on repick,
Yeah.
right? Especially on like a stage like FD or Town and City,
It's
because there's
actually
no platform.
it's actually so broken in every Smash game. Getting to the point like in the metagame where you just learn to take the hit, so they don't like reset and restart the vortex again.
Yeah.
Which actually happens in every Smash game. Like when you get to that high level where people know exactly what your options are and what you're allowed to do, you're just like no, just hit me with the true thing. That's fine. You've won the neutral. You get your 40%. Hit me with that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like let you reset or get like some footstool fucking restart bullshit or kill me off some jank.
Yeah.
Like just hit me.
Like Sheik
Yeah.
carrying off the side. Hold.
Yeah, just
hard
hold
out.
away. Just don't try and air dodge. Don't try and attack.
Yeah,
Just like, okay,
yeah.
I'm getting forwarded 8 times.
That-
all right.
yeah.
and
Yeah,
you're
that's
bouncing
it.
fish,
Like
all right.
Then you're done.
That's the exchange.
That's actually like
Yeah.
it's knowledge, but it's also just the mental game because you're getting hit, and you don't like
you
getting
don't
hit.
you don't
You have
panic.
to.
You
Yeah,
don't
you
have to.
You have to be
ignore-
disciplined.
You actually have to
be just-
understand the situation.
Yeah.
You're in, like.
You just be like, it's also just knowing what's true, and true in the sense of like what's like true on like a combo count, and also what's true in terms of like frame traps. Because you're like, I can attack out of this, so it's not a true combo, but I can't attack out of this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get hit again.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. Yeah. Like discipline like that plays a big part in Smash. On to another topic. Actually, Finn brought this one up as well in terms of favorite side brackets, which I thought was a really cool question. So, what's everyone's answer to that? So, let's name some. So, we have like doubles, I guess, is side bracket.
Doubles
Squads,
kind of counts.
Quad strike.
Squad strike, random,
Random.
reverse
Big one.
chains, spinny
okay.
boys.
What is that? Wait,
Oh yeah, we have to bring up
Yeah.
Spinny Boys.
what is Spinny Boys?
It's probably the best side bracket ever. It
Ah,
only
okay,
works
but we
in
need-
Smash
we need
4.
to-
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, only in Smash 4
It
really.
only
like,
works in Smash 4 because it's the only game where the screw attack item connects consistently
Okay.
into a follow-up. Also Smash 4, that's where everyone has a move that kills off the top.
True.
So, as you guys would probably know, the spin jump alters everyone's jump properties, so they jump higher than usual. So-
there's no short hop.
yeah, so almost every character can get to like 80% to the top.
Spinny
from
Boys
a
is
double
just
jump.
Spinny Boys is just screw attack.
Yeah, so it's just screw attack into
Up there or something.
up B or up air or whatever off the top.
Yeah, Meta
It's
Knight's crap,
specific-
no?
So, no.
No.
I mean, he was
I
okay.
think.
Bayo
Well,
was
I
broken.
remember. It was like Bayo
Zero suit.
Bayo Zero
Yeah.
Suit.
So the
and
tier list
me,
is the
me,
same.
me Brawler if you had
Yeah.
Piston
The-
Punch.
Yeah,
Oh,
piston
okay.
punch.
Piston
yeah.
Punch because
Okay, I don't think I'll be playing that game. though.
Even like Luigi, into,
Well,
like
yeah,
the
the down
true
B,
input,
down B, yeah,
or
yeah.
down B or up B.
What do you mean true input?
Well, like the sure you can, like the sweet spot up B. on
Wait,
Luigi.
really?
What are you calling this true input?
wait, Luigi.
Luigi, yeah.
Yeah,
No, you
that's,
just
that's the
tornadoes.
same input.
Yeah.
So it is
But
it's the
sweet
true
spot.
input.
Up,
It's-
up and B.
Yeah.
It's
But so yeah,
you need a Smashbox for that one.
that was a very fun bracket
Yeah.
because like every character was viable.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I
just
think
about-
we
Except for,
just
like,
we had to do.
Oh no, Puff could rest.
I feel like
So
didn't we start doing like
Spinny
random? I think we
like
started.
random
Random
spinny
I
balls.
think we started
Yeah.
doing random because otherwise it would just be like zero
Everyone
suit.
was zero suit. Yeah.
Big Smash is another.
Big Smash. That's
Big
not-
Smash. Yeah.
No. Okay.
There was
well,
another. Sorry. There was one other bracket that we only ever ran once. But it was an altered form of random because the problem with random is like.
It's not random.
Well, first of all, it's like both too random and not random enough because the random in Smash is bad. It prioritizes the least played characters.
Oh. I think I did know that.
On top of that, characters with alternate versions like Alf, Olimar,
Yes.
Wario with like Classic and Biker, they get a second chance, so they're twice as likely as other characters.
And who doesn't love more Olimar Warrior in the meta?
Yeah, and they fixed this in Ultimate, but in Smash 4 you can never get the Ditto either.
Into the
You
Ditto.
can never get the Ditto in Smash 4. So there were literal like,
Yeah, the
it
problem.
wasn't true random. So
Okay.
by the time, what I would do, I would just go on Google and have like a random number generator from like 1 to like 47 or whatever, and I just pick what like
Yeah, I
the
remember people
character
doing that,
from
yeah.
because it's like
Yeah.
I prefer that as a more true random. But in Smash 4, one time what we did, and I enjoyed this because it adds a little more agency to the player, is alphabetical 1 to 26, and you have the first letter, and you can play the character, any character that starts with that letter. So
Okay.
you might have one option, and obviously some letters,
Zeros and Samus.
some letters aren't in it.
Or
at
you
all.
might have
you
five
might have
options
five
if you
options,
got
yeah.
the letter M.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well now I can actually play who I want to.
That's
So it's
interesting.
a, it's a bit of a fun twist to
Yeah,
the
that's-
random.
that is interesting. So where do we stand with favourite side brackets? What would yours be? Don't say Spinny Boys. I like the name.
I think my favorite probably was that alphabetical
Yeah,
random
that's
one.
kind of cool.
Otherwise, I really enjoy 5-player squad strike. It can't be 3; it has to be 5.
So wait, what is Squad Strike? Again?
Oh wait, we forgot like the 3v3 crews.
Yeah,
That
Oh,
that was a
3v3,
good one.
yeah.
I
That
like
one
that.
at
And
Metashift.
yeah,
That one was
really
like
good.
yeah, I like
Yeah.
I like that.
that one was
for
awesome.
sure.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that's what Squad Strike was.
Right. So squad strike is the in-game ultimate
Okay.
mode.
you pick,
And
like,
it is
five- you pick,
basically
like,
It's just,
four
it's
like a
just
crew
a
battle
squad
mode.
strike.
Yeah.
And you can either have it, you can either like swap over the control
Yeah,
of
or
the
you can just
players.
play like your own characters. And,
Yeah.
and like okay.
So normally the squad strike bracket is like I can play multiple characters. So here are my best 5 against your best 5. But
yeah.
for brackets, it's usually 3.
I think the crew battle, the 3v3 crew battle is like my favorite in doubles. I've always really
I do
liked
like doubles as well. Triples.
No,
No.
that's got to go. Too much anarchy. Too much.
It's
It's too much.
for me, it's probably either doubles or I quite like low tier events, but they don't really happen anymore.
No.
Oh my god, yeah, low tier brackets. God.
Yeah.
Well, this game doesn't have a tier list, so.
Well,
you
yeah,
can't-
it doesn't
Yeah,
have a tier
I think
list,
in
yeah.
like Melee and Brawl, I could see it being like because the game would be like it's such a different game.
Low
But
tier
now
was
now
pretty
like
funny.
low tier, what is
Yeah, but is that like every character's bullshit anyway? So who cares? Yeah.
yeah, or it just seemed like unfair.
Yeah.
I guess it would just seem unfair like in like Queensland. Like if Ben gets to play Carol and no one else gets to play their character, like
Oh, it's okay. Everyone +3s him, so who cares even?
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh huh.
Just learn the matchup.
yeah.
Just
Ben was like, oh, like I was so inspired by the potty, I made a matchup chart, and in that matchup chart, even after what we discussed on the podcast about how there probably isn't any -4 matchups, he went and put about 8 of them.
yeah.
Or maybe maybe like even after the discussion, he's still like, nope, Carol is that bad.
Yeah.
Like really to drive the
Yeah.
point of how
And then-
bad Carol
And we're
is.
like, sure, like the worst matchup in this game is like Dr. Mario Min Min. Like that's got to be unplayable. So I look it up, find like some French players, like top tier French players playing Dr. Mario and Min Min, and the Dr. Mario just annihilates the Min Min. I'm like, this game makes no, like, there's no bad matchups in this game. Everything's winnable. It's too much. It's too much.
I mean, it still probably is Dr. Mario versus Min Min, but
It's still bad, but like
DK versus Byleth, that was
I mean,
was
that's
interesting.
got to be up there because he has like I don't know if you know, but Bob
yeah,
has like
he's got the zero death.
zero death.
But he's got
just-
yeah.
I mean,
He has tools, so like
I,
back
yeah.
end.
you can't say
What an
K. Rule has all these
awful-
back like -3, -4s,
Yeah,
and
but
then Byleth,
I cannot
who
believe
just kills
you've
you off
said
and
that.
up B is
Well,
not.
K-Rool just gets invalidated by
Dude.
K-Rool
Can you
back
just-
air
can you just-
single-handedly.
Throw crown
But,
or something, please.
Just you can dash attack him.
Oh my god.
What's your favorite side bracket?
Oh man, now that I've like remembered the 3v3 crews, like it's
Yeah.
got to be a toss up
so good,
between
yeah.
that and like reverse main. I think it honestly might be 3v3 crews,
Yeah.
but I do like I will say like reverse mains like
That's
it's
cool.
so it's
That's
so
cool.
validating.
Yeah.
Like beating
Just, like dog shit carry.
well like if you're
carrot a
yeah
player.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like when people like complain about your character all the time, like, oh, this character's stupid, they're broken, like they're so easy, and then you just beat people like playing their character with, like playing their character, playing, you know, like
Yeah.
it was very
Just the,
validating
like,
in
beating
Smash
everyone's
4.
Cloud in Smash 4 with like
Being
whoever the
being
fuck they
oh yeah
play.
yeah being a
Yeah.
Robin main in Smash 4 in a region full of like Diddy Kongs and Mewtwo's doing a reverse main bracket was like I just did whatever I wanted, really.
Actually,
Yeah.
like on the 3v3 crew battles, I don't think we've mentioned on this podcast, but the Aristochats are trying to get, and we will organise like a 3v3 crew battle against Dumb For Real, their podcast, across all the Smash titles. So I was on their podcast on Dumb For Real like a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned like, oh, we're going to do this crew battle, and they were like, oh my god, that's so easy, you guys are finished, like that's over. And then I said, across all the Smash games, and they went, and suddenly there's just dead silence. They're like, oh no.
So
Well,
doing,
I mean, look,
so you're doing 64 melee,
all Smash
brawl,
games, yeah.
Smash 4, then ultimate,
Ultimate, yeah, and
Yeah,
they will
Smash
win. They will
3DS.
win one of those.
and 3DS.
they will win.
They
Yeah,
will
I was
win one
about
of
like
those.
because we had like the experience of like even all of the previous Smash games.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, sure, they've probably played like 64 or melee. Like
They
a little
might
bit,
not.
but I don't know. Like, I mean, they're pretty.
They have a bit of Smash 4 under their belt.
They're-
like, the
they're
last
pretty
few
young.
months.
I mean, they will.
You know.
Smash 4 will not be. I don't think.
Smash 4 won't be close. Brawl won't be
If you and I
close,
played for
Melee
like
won't be
a
close.
week,
Yeah.
I think it's just a wash.
I
It's
actually-
all I'm doing.
I actually don't
I
think
think
I
Melee
will-
might be the biggest wash.
You reckon?
Oh, probably Brawl, but...
Oh yeah,
Then-
Brawl's
it'll be
Brawl's unplayable.
Brawl, then Melee, then
Brawl's
Smash
over.
4, I think.
Yeah.
You guys can go have like a smoko or something during the Brawl one.
Look,
You're
I
done.
legitimately don't expect to play in 3 of these games.
Yeah.
Because I'm expecting
Yeah.
Mewtwo to play in like. I mean, I'm sure I would do fine in Melee and Brawl. Less confident in Smash 4, right? I will probably play it in 64 and Ultimate because I think we'll lose Ultimate. But
Yeah, 64 could be a
I
toss-up.
think I was a DK main in 64.
well, you can't play DK.
Yeah,
Why?
I'm a Samus main, but I'm
What do
gonna
you mean I
have
can't
to play
play
Kirby.
I'm gonna play Kirby as well.
Dude, tier lists like don't matter in this game. Like nobody's good enough to like actually do anything. So I think DK forward here.
I mean, DK's like the only character that like doesn't have a zero
He's,
death, right?
up there. Ooh,
I mean, the up
so
air's
cool.
funny. It looks
Sick.
funny.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Samus is the only one that doesn't have a 0 to death if she doesn't have charge shot.
That's
Get
pretty
charged.
good.
So, well, it takes like 7 seconds to charge. Also, bomb takes a double jump as well. So
Yeah,
Wow,
we've
that's awful.
discussed
We
that.
have
That's
discussed that.
fucking
We've
awful.
discussed
we have
this.
discussed that,
Yeah.
but dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So
We're
three
gonna-
of- yeah.
We're
Yeah,
also
3v3.
gonna
doing that at like
Christmas.
no, it was that's tournament one, a Metashift.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
was such a like it was a bit of a risk, honestly, from Jet to like kind of de-emphasize doubles and make that like the second one. But I
yeah.
think it really
It
paid
really
off.
paid
Like I
off.
think it
I
was
feel like crew battles are just like a close crew battle. There's actually nothing more
It-
hype than a close
yeah,
crew
like
battle,
crew
actually.
yeah crew battles
Because
is just exciting.
everyone's involved.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah,
Like,
everyone-
everyone's
yeah.
involved.
We have like the expand going for crew battles, like
Yeah.
Australia versus the world, and the
That
state
one was
crew
quite
battles
yeah.
as
That
well.
one was close. Like
Yeah.
low-key, like, it almost feels better than winning a tournament. Like, if you clutch a crew battle for your region,
Yeah.
that actually usually feels better than winning a fucking grand
Yeah,
final. Actually.
yeah, literally.
It's obscene. I did it like a few times in Brawl and Smash 4, like where you close for your team or you take like 6 stocks. It's just unreal. It feels
Yeah,
so
you-
good.
yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
so good. And the camaraderie
You're
you
that
get, and,
guy.
like it's like good competition as well. So you're like toxic towards each other. You're bantering with them,
Yeah.
but it's totally healthy and like good
Yeah.
tribalism. But yeah, so really looking forward to that. Hopefully we get them up for like Pissmas or something.
Yeah, that'd be
because
good.
I really want to do that. And they were very keen as well. So. Yeah, but that's we've hit around an hour and 40 minutes. To be honest, I feel like we could go for a lot longer because I've been really enjoying these points. But
We've also, I think we have like a couple of topics that we just missed straight up.
yeah,
because-
we did.
Yeah. Oh,
Which
we are
is-
running out of time. Though.
Yeah, well, Finn does have to like
Yeah.
has an
Leave.
appointment.
I have to go
unfortunately.
bowling.
Yeah, has to go bowling. Instead
Sorry,
of doing
nerds.
more of the Aristochats podcast for 3 hours.
Yeah.
We'll need
Sorry.
a second episode.
We didn't even touch on triple limb bracket either.
No.
We'll get you back. I mean, you're actually
And
400 meters.
That
away,
one's gonna
so-
be 4 hours long.
no
We missed it.
Aristochats deep
Triple
dives.
Stay
Elim. We
tuned.
also missed half of your theories. We only got through
Yeah.
like 2 of
We
them.
got through.
Those are the two Big ones.
big ones.
Yeah,
Two
stay
big
tuned.
ones.
Yeah, stay tuned for the Triply Elimination Bracket 3-parter
And also your favorite video games, Ignis.
and my
Yeah.
favorite video.
Which
game.
I would have
Well,
really liked to have
well,
known.
let's do that
We
now
can
because
finish off for that,
we've
yeah.
got time for that now.
Do
'cause we were supposed to do
Yeah,
that
we can-
last week.
I can't. Don't want to discuss them in depth,
Yeah, that's right.
but I can rat off some of my favorites.
Okay.
Since where's my list? So it's more than a top 10. I basically just wrote like what are my favorite games.
Yeah, go for it.
So we've got Mario Galaxy,
Okay.
Great
1
game,
and 2,
Great game.
Zelda Twilight Princess,
Yep.
Fire Emblem Awakening. That's basically why I was a Robin
Uh,
main.
Cute.
Have you replayed Fire Emblem Awakening?
Not recently, no.
Okay, because
It's just like your game last week where you replayed it and you're like, it's dog shit, basically.
yeah, kind of like
It's definitely falls into the I played it like in
Yeah,
high
it's like
school when
yeah,
it
nostalgia.
came
I
out.
would
Yeah.
I would love you to replay this game and
And actually,
tell us what you think about it because
Yeah.
I found this game was actually really bad, even though I really loved it.
Was this the one
the
you were
first
talking about
time.
last week?
No.
Okay.
the Metroid Prime trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Okay.
probably order them like 1, 3, then 2.
Yeah.
My favorite. Ben approves. Resident Evil 4.
Mm.
That game
Everyone
is,
loves that game.
Everyone,
Okay.
yeah, but for good reason. That game is like rad. Like that game is just fun the whole way through.
And just got the trailer and stuff for the remake. as
Yeah, the
well
remake
the other
looks
day, yeah.
very
It's really
promising. Kid Icarus Uprising.
good. Mhm.
Okay.
Again,
That was a good game.
I put hundreds of hours into that game and it was just
Kind of
fun the whole
spoiled
time.
by the controls,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But outside of
I
that,
think I was really, really lucky with the controls because I'm left-handed
Yeah.
and I had a Circle Pad Pro,
I also have one of those.
Yeah.
so I had like effectively a bigger controller,
Mm.
Right.
and so like it worked out fine. I didn't really have like the same problems
Yeah.
other people did.
Kid Icarus being like a complete surprise smash hit as well. Like, everyone kind of knew Kid Icarus, like Pit and Brawl.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, okay, new Kid Icarus, that could be interesting. And then it was just completely
Well,
different. and
it
much
basically
better
just
than
took
what
the idea
anyone
and made like
yeah.
a new IP out of
Yeah.
it.
It had
basically.
it
like
was-
that game had like a great story,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
incredibly funny,
Yeah,
incredibly
it's a
funny,
funny game. Moving on, Donkey Kong Country Returns. That game's rad.
Mm.
I wrote down Pikmin 2 specifically, but probably 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But like Pikmin 2 is like,
Pikmin 2 is
I
cool.
love Pikmin. I don't know why he's shaking his head at me.
Crazy.
No,
He doesn't understand it.
Mm.
I threw Brittany into the spider webs.
Okay.
But
Oh well, that's Pikmin 3.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Pikmin
What
3
Yeah,
sucks.
Pikmin 3 doesn't. Pikmin 3, I remember like
It looks
liking,
nice.
but being disappointed by.
Yeah.
okay.
2 is
Um,
absolutely much better.
Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, and 3.
Mm.
Mhm.
Probably. It's kind of hard to say. I think I had the most fun with 3, but I think 3 is the worst. If
Mm.
that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the
Um,
Donkey Kong Country games.
Bloodborne. Bloodborne's just a rad game. It's the only Souls game I've really played, but it's like amazing. The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Like that game a lot. Uncharted
they're making
2.
a TV show about
Yes, Uncharted.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really care about any of the other Last of Us stuff. I just like I played the PS4 port of the game. That was probably like the best version of it.
Mm.
Uncharted 2. I
I
played through like
recommend-
the first 3 games, like basically all like back to back, and 2 was my favorite. Xenoblade Chronicles. That's like the only JRPG I like, and it's like amazing. I think.
Is it just that you don't like turn-based stuff?
Yeah,
or-
it's like basically the way I describe it is like everything I don't like about JRPGs like basically isn't present.
Yeah, because
Xenoblade
it's not.
Chronicles.
It's kind of technically not turn-based, but
It's not. It's not really. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like this slow. Like there you go.
It's like
Then
fake
you go.
turn-based.
Yeah. Bayonetta, probably Bayonetta 1 and 2 really. 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. It's like a visual novel.
You've heard of it.
And then the sequel, Virtue's Last
Nice.
Reward. There's a third game, Zero Time Dilemma, but that one's not as good. It's like it's kind of like a trilogy. It concludes it, but I won't go.
The first one's the strongest.
yeah, the first 2 are really good.
I have these games on Steam.
Then,
but I've never had the opportunity to play them.
Play them. If they're good.
Do you have like a recommendation for a game that maybe most people wouldn't have played that you'd say
Well, you said you haven't even heard of 909.
No, I haven't.
So
No.
that.
that one? Yeah.
No, most of the games on this list are pretty like.
I mean, like
Pretty
probably a lot of people
fairly
haven't
normal.
played Kid Icarus. I would say like
Yeah, but it's kind of
It's
it's
not
hard
uber
to
mainstream.
it's hard to really like play it in a way that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
if you have a
Yeah, they need
3DS and maybe just like grab your 3DS and then like hold it in one hand and then hold the stylus in your other hand and just like draw on it for a bit. And if that hurts your hand, like if you feel your wrists getting sore or something for a while, like click the shoulder button as well. So then you're doing like the actions you're doing in the game. If your wrist gets sore after a while, then like the game's probably not for you.
Yeah.
So like that didn't happen to me. Maybe because I was like 13 years old and my wrists were like weren't like brittle yet.
Titanium, yeah.
Yeah. So like I played it like the perfect time, like when I had the hundreds of hours because there was like hundreds of hours of content in the game, or it was just a very replayable game.
It was.
Really good multiplayer as well.
Oh yeah, the multiplayer was lots of fun. Just a few more. Silent Hill 2. That's also getting a remake, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's right.
Potentially, it could potentially be good, but I'm not holding my breath.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 3.
Mm-hmm.
Probably MGS 2 as well, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Portal, and the Resident Evil remake.
Giga,
The
that's a
first
good
one.
list.
Yeah.
Good list.
So I don't know if I could try narrowing it down to a top 10, but...
Would you have one, like top one?
Oh shit, I didn't mention Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus. Sorry. Shadow of the
Was
Colossus.
that your tweet, doth stride the mighty Colossus, all car doors are considered forfeit in his... that was your tweet, wasn't it?
Probably. When did I say that?
When Jason broke my car door?
Oh yeah, I said doth stride the mighty I don't know why.
I don't know. It's actually goated. It's a fucking amazing tweet.
I always say that when there's a tall person. I say doth stride them. I think that's a Shakespearean thing. But yeah, Shadow of the Colossus is like everyone should play that game.
Yeah.
So that's your number one?
Probably my number one.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. And you may have noticed I didn't write like Smash at all. That might be another topic, but I don't like. It's kind of weird because when you think about like, oh, is Smash my favorite game? You kind of be like, yeah, but is that because of the game itself?
Or is it because
like the competition and
Is it because of the
community,
community and all that? So I didn't consider. I still really like it. I'd probably maybe Brawl would be on there because that's like probably the best single player experience out of all the Smash games.
Easy, yeah.
But like the game itself intrinsically is like fun. But like think about Ultimate. Like if you literally had no one to play Ultimate with, then
play it.
like you'd probably play like it's not that good. Like you'd play like
Was that with or without people to play with?
Both.
without.
You play Ultimate, it's like, oh,
You do like
do
World
I
of
wanna
Light.
play World of Light? Yeah.
Not very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And then-
Brawl is the only one that holds up as like an objectively like, great
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those
Maybe
are,
Melee.
those are some of my favorites.
A good list.
Good
I
list.
respect it.
I agree. I like Shadow of
I
the
was
Colossus.
actually just thinking about all the games that I have that are objectively like shit games that spring to mind for like games that I enjoyed a lot and that I would replay. It's kind of interesting. I'll running out of time, so I'll do one. I will do that next week because we were supposed to do our top 10 list like this week.
We were. But we'll do it next week.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put like some. I might even do like 10, like getting rid of like Smash and League of Legends, all that shit. I'm just gonna put like 10 games that are honestly just like fucking bad that I like. Maybe that's a more interesting list. Like this game is
10
actually
guilty
dog shit.
pleasures.
Yeah, like there's a game called it's like Battlegrounds Magic the Gathering, but it's like it's not a card based at all. It's on like the Xbox. I think it's Xbox original, and you like summon. It's like you're on one side of like the stage basically, like, and you just summon creatures, and you have to take everyone's
You like kill
hit points.
trees or something.
Whatever. But this game is fucking awful. But it's actually like so cracked as well. I want to play it with Ben actually, and I
Isn't
can
that-
hear all like the voice lines in my head of them summoning the creatures as well.
This is the game with the character that like has like a ability that lets you like instantly revive your entire team or something if she dies, right?
Cool.
I don't think so. I'll show it to you later. I
Okay.
haven't played it in a long time, but yeah, I think it's like the only Battlegrounds game like fucking made, certainly on the Xbox original. But yeah, that's like kind of cracked. You go like Duel of Destiny or Dawn of Destiny, whatever it's called. Like this game is awful, but it's fun. Yeah, there's a bunch, but I'll save it for the list next week because I had like 10 occur to me as he was going through games. Like, man, that game's awful.
And the
But how good is
Phantom.
it?
You need that for next week.
Yeah.
What flavor is it?
We'll figure
we'll
that out.
find
Figure it
out.
Or whenever. whenever they release it.
Briefly, the giveaway is kind of like still happening.
Yep.
If you like and retweet the post from the previous podcast, you'll see it because it has a lot of likes and retweets by a bunch of American people and bots.
Clarifying, you have to be Australian, you have to be in the Smash scene in Australia for you to be able to win the giveaway. So yeah, like and retweet the episode 7, which is basically be our last tweet before this tweet, releasing episode 8. So retweet episode 7 and subscribing to the YouTube channel. That will put you in to win as a chance to win the $100 Steam gift card. And that will be running until next Wednesday, I guess. Not this coming Wednesday, but like next Wednesday.
I don't know, whenever we record the next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not many people who have like done that yet. So I mean, chances are pretty high, right?
so.
Like we were looking at it yesterday and we were like, oh look, like 2 people have entered.
50-50. Crazy.
Yeah, 50-50.
Good odds.
Yeah. But
Well, it'll be the 33.33.
do you have like a YouTube channel or Twitter? You want to, like, I know you're on Twitter. You want to shout out your?
Oh,
your
my
at?
Twitter is at Sadhour64,
Crazy.
capital S, capital H. That's
That's
pretty much. I think I tried streaming on Twitch like once,
Yeah.
and I didn't. Oh, maybe if I get more time in the future, I might try.
Yeah. Well, we could maybe have the 3 of us come play Smash and like stream or something. That'd be fun.
Would be good.
Doubles.
But thanks very much for joining us, Finn, and
Mhm.
we
For
hope you
having
enjoy bowling. Hope you enjoy bowling.
Yeah, good luck. Is
I've
that strike
had a
bowling in the
stroke.
city?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Winter
That'd be the
Garden.
go-to. Bit of karaoke or the escape rooms.
true.
There's
Do
laser
you,
tag
do you
there,
think
isn't
if I
Uh,
slip
yeah,
in
they
there
might.
that they'll notice
Winter
that
Garden,
I'm...
I can plus
like
one you.
upstairs or
I
whatever,
could be like, I can plus one the Aristochats podcast to bowling.
Are we all going bowling? What's going on?
Yeah, but yeah, thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, good chat.
Please subscribe to the channel, all that sort of stuff. I mean, you're not going to do it. Hey, who am I kidding? But
Follow us on Twitter.
yeah,
Well,
sure.
you must hate
Humorous.
Steam gift cards if you don't subscribe to the
and,
Aristochats.
and that's the teaser for the episode. Thanks very much, guys. Signing off.
Farewell.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so we bought this really ugly tablecloth.
Really ugly. Like, there are uglier tablecloths. You're fucking really ugly, for instance.
There are ugly Jesse.